For original reporting.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper. President Trump says a second round of talks with Iran could happen over the next 2 days. CBS's Cammie McCormick reports the UN is indicating that as well.
The UN Secretary General says he's met with Pakistan's Deputy Prime Minister. Pakistan has been acting as a mediator.
The indication we have is that it is highly probable that these talks will restart.
And while the first talks were unsuccessful, Antonio Guterres said they must continue.
There is no military solution to this crisis. Peace agreements require persistent engagement and political will.
The location hasn't yet been decided.
Israeli and Lebanese officials are taking part in direct high-level diplomatic talks in Washington. The hope is to end the fighting between Israel and Hezbollah. CBS News contributor Robert Berger in Jerusalem.
Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says Israel has two goals. First and foremost is the disarming of Hezbollah. And secondly, he says a peace that will last for generations with Lebanon. Now, Lebanon says, first of all, we need a ceasefire. The problem is, though, one of the warring parties, Hezbollah, is not even involved in these talks and actually urged Lebanon not to take part in the talks.
Several women have come forward accusing Democratic Congressman Eric Swalwell of sexually assaulting them. Lana Druas believes Swalwell had spiked her glass of wine in 2018.
I arrived at his hotel room. I was already incapacitated and I couldn't move my arms or my body. He raped me.
Swalwell, who says he plans to resign from Congress, has called prior allegations against him false. A divided federal appeals court orders a judge to end his criminal contempt investigation into the Trump administration. CBS's Michael Wallace.
The chief judge of the federal trial-level court in Washington, D.C., James Boasberg, had ordered the administration to turn around planes carrying Venezuelan migrants to El Salvador last year. The flights went on anyway, and Boasberg later ruled there was probable cause to find the government in criminal contempt for defying his order. Now, a three-judge panel from the U.S. Court of Appeals for the District of Columbia Circuit has ruled Boasberg must end what the court calls his intrusive contempt investigation.
Schools in Los Angeles are open after the LA Unified School District and the Service Employees International Union reached a tentative agreement to avoid a strike. SEIU Local 99 Executive Director Max Arias.
In this cycle, we managed to stabilize the hours of work, which is important for students' services.
The deal includes a 24% wage increase. Stocks are up on Wall Street. This is CBS News.
What is going on?
What's going on here? How is this possible? Great storytelling starts here.
Oh, come on.
Why? It's time for 60 Minutes.
Seattle police searching for a shooter this afternoon. More on that straight ahead. But first, your KIRO News Radio traffic. And we have trouble in Kitsap County through Chico this afternoon. Both directions, separate issues. Southbound 3 at Chico Way, a car fire is blocking the entire highway. You're backed up bumper to bumper to Newberry Hill Road. And then northbound 3 at Erlands Boulevard, a crash blocks your left lane. A truck with a trailer slid into the median, so it's taking a bit to get them out of there. So you're in over a mile bumper-to-bumper backup. Some drivers are exiting at Austin Drive and heading to Chico Way to get around this. Not sure if you're saving much time, as this side route is quickly backing up as well. Typical backups through downtown Seattle. Plan on 15 minutes northbound I-5. Scattered backups starting at the West Seattle Bridge to the Ship Canal. And South 5 were crowded from about Lake City Way to the Ship Canal Bridge. It's less than 20 minutes from Linwood to Seattle. This report brought to you by KIRO News Radio.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Nate Connors. Seattle police are trying to find out who shot a 17-year-old boy early this morning. It happened near the Atlantic City boat ramp on Lake Washington in the Rainier Beach neighborhood. Police say the victim was in a car with two other boys, 13 and 17, when he was shot in the back just after 3 a.m. Detective Brian Pritchard says no suspect has been identified.
If anybody has any information, please give our violent crimes tip line a call at 206-233-5000.
Seattle's ramping up cleanup efforts ahead of the 2026 World Cup.
A new Seattle Clean City report shows crews and volunteers removed 5.3 million pounds of trash last year, including more than 660,000 needles. It took nearly 32,000 volunteer hours to make it happen. Seattle is getting ready for 750,000 visitors later this year for the World Cup. Frank Lindsay, KIRO News Radio.
Mukilteo's Edgewater Bridge will reopen to traffic on April 28th. It's taken 18 months to demolish the old bridge and install the new one. Construction has cut off access between Everett and Mukilteo and has made life rough for some neighbors like Sid.
We go often to Mukilteo, and, it would be a 5-minute drive to just about anywhere. Now it's like 20 minutes or so.
The detour route is about 10 miles. The old bridge was built in 1946. Video from last month's King County Metro bus crash is now being released. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey says it appears to show the driver slam into 7 vehicles on a busy North Seattle street, then tell responders his blood pressure was too low.
The audio is scary enough. A Metro bus crashing into 7 different vehicles along a mile stretch of Greenwood Avenue in North Seattle back on March 18th.
Are you all right, brother?
Passenger Ernie Mackison, credited with grabbing the wheel and hitting the brakes, tells the John Curley Show the driver said he was suffering from low blood pressure.
You knew about this dude's blood pressure problem. You let him drive.
And on board that bus, the driver appeared to confirm that.
Yeah, I think my blood pressure.
Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
A Metro bus spokesperson says they can't comment on the driver's health and that they're working through claims with owners of all the vehicles that were hit. And now your KIRO News Radio weather. A stormy day ahead with steady rain, windy conditions, a high only into the upper 40s. Tomorrow, a mix of clearing turning to isolated afternoon thunderstorms and a high around 50. Windy, rainy, and 46 in downtown Seattle. I'm Nate Connors, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
And now, it's time for the Jake and Spike Show on KIRO News Radio. With your hosts, Jake Skorheim and Spike O'Neill.
Welcome to the show. Happy Tuesday to you. Jake Skorheim here, sitting alongside Spike O'Neill. Spike, we're at it again.
Happy Tuesday, brother.
Happy Tuesday.
Yep. A lot of show built up here.
Man, we got a lot of stuff to
push
get
it through.
We don't even have time to get to it all. We've got, as our fill-in producer Mike said before the show, we've got 5 hours of show to fit into 3 hours. But that's what we like to do. We like to over-prepare. We don't want to leave anything on the table, although we do. We leave everything on the table. But we have a lot of stuff to get to. Let's fire right away and get to it. In just a little bit, we're going to talk to Luke Ducey about a very interesting thing that's going to happen when World Cup comes to town. There's a lot of World Cup fervor. People are getting very excited. 750,000 fans are going to
estimates initially were nearly $1 billion of business to come into the city.
It's a lot of money.
A lot of money.
A lot of dough.
A lot of opportunity for the city.
Well, how are they going to keep people safe? That's the question that everyone is asking. And are they going to use cameras? Doesn't sound like it. So Luke Ducey is going to join us to talk about that. It's going to be interesting. It's a bold move. Is it bold the right word?
It is a bold move.
We're gonna talk to Luke at 12:30, and then we have a ton of other stuff to get to. So don't miss a second of the show. You can also, this is a lot of fun for you, and it's fun for us too. You guys can watch on YouTube. You can watch live, so you can see our bright, shiny, smiling, very bright faces. We have very bright lights in here.
There it is. Now look at me. They had my height reduced. That was nice. Look, we're adjusting as we go.
It almost looks like our microphones. Have you ever seen those lovers' toilets? Have you seen those memes?
I'm sorry?
The lovers' toilets? It's a toilet back to back.
It's shaped like an S, right?
It's shaped like an S.
So you can go together?
I always thought it was fake, but now I'm mentioning it, it could be a real thing. I don't know who
it's a real thing.
Really?
Doesn't like Meghan Trainor have one of those with her husband or something? They give like high fives and whatnot.
You need a high five
over
going
what?
to the bathroom? I guess it's like
function?
I don't know what it is, but it's a. Anyway, our microphones right now look almost like if you angled it just the right way.
Yeah.
Like move yours a little bit, and then it looks like we're talking almost into the same mic. Look at that.
Oh, look at that. It's weird.
It's a lover's toilet of mics.
Oh my God.
It's a weird reference. Let's just move on to stuff. Okay, let's get right into this weather. I want to get into this.
Only a minute too late. Let's go.
Scary weather that everybody should be worried about. This is an interesting story. It's talking about El Nino. They're saying a strong El Nino could come and hit Washington, which then could worsen the fire season, according to this Axios piece. Tell me, Spike, if you had the same reaction that I did. I'm going to read you a little bit of this, then you can tell me what you thought. They said a potentially powerful super El Nino may be taking shape. There's like a lot of maybes and things like that in articles about forecasting weather.
That's the beauty of forecasting.
That's right.
If you're right 30% of the time, you're a star.
Then you're right 100% of the time.
40% of the time, you're going to the Hall of Fame.
Yes. 30% of the time, it works 100% of the time. One European climate model the European Center with an E, Centre, CENTRE. That tells you all you need to know. For medium-range weather forecasts. Medium range?
Yeah.
This doesn't sound very dramatic.
Couple months, medium range.
Oh.
Right? Short range,
Okay.
not like I can look out my window and see it's raining, or
It's
I can,
let's look
medium
out a
range.
month.
Yeah, the summer.
I gotcha. I thought they meant like the severity of the weather conditions are like medium.
medium.
It's like, that's not
kind of warmish in the summer, kind of cooler in the winter.
When you're predicting weather, like the business of predicting weather, it's either like, it's all feast or famine. It's either great or it's very fearful. And if you're anywhere in the medium range, you're not doing good business.
No, well, that's when you compensate with the dress you're wearing.
That's true.
Right?
Yes.
It covers a multitude of sins.
You're absolutely right.
That's right. And the shoes?
All right, so the European Center for Weather something says that ocean temperatures rising steadily towards El Nino conditions, with some projections suggesting the potential for a very strong event. Again, it's kind of ambiguous. One atmospheric scientist, who you've never heard of and neither have I, posted online.
They found a guy.
That they then quoted, quote, real potential for the strongest El Nino in 140 years. Wow.
How do they cut a cactus in half and count the rings?
That's a great,
great
question.
Clean that joke up a lot, believe me.
It's a great, how do you end up with 140 years?
I think you look at soil, you do core soil samples. You look at flood conditions, previous flood conditions.
Are you serious? You're joking?
Yeah, no, I'm serious.
This guy, this random atmospheric scientist, he's out there digging holes?
He has a team of hole diggers, I'm assuming. But there is record low snowfall, not just in the Cascades, but in the Rockies as well. Mm-hmm. It's been a dry winter. We've got low snowpack. We've got low water reserves. We're talking about one of the hottest summers on record coming our way. You're talking about
specifically in Washington.
No, I'm talking about nationally. I heard a story about the Colorado.
This is a European Centre for medium-range weather forecast. How do they know?
Because they study the entirety of the planet.
Okay.
And they're talking about the U.S. being subject
to the pulse of everything.
Pulse of everything.
140 years.
Yeah, it's going to be a horrible, by all accounts, by all predictable, models that they run.
Bupkis.
It's going to be a
I don't
horrible
like using swear words,
summer.
but that's bupkis, and you know it.
I think there's validity.
National Ocean, of course you do. National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration Climate Prediction Center forecast a 61% chance of El Nino.
Yeah,
61%.
Yeah.
How did they not make it all the were they debating getting to 62? And then they went, you know what? 62 is
I don't feel confident.
That's frivolous.
Don't feel confident with 62.
We can't do that.
People won't take us serious if we say it's 62% chance.
61, lock it in. May through July, lock it in. With a range of outcomes, they say, including the chance for a, quote, very strong event. Any numbskull could swing a dead cat in any direction, and you could hit a strong event. I guarantee it. But what is an El Nino, you might ask yourself? I don't know. Do you know?
I do.
I am El Nino. All other tropical storms must bow before El Nino. Yo soy El Nino. For those of you who don't habla español, El Nino is Spanish for the Nino.
All right, Spike, tell me what El Nino is. I just don't, whenever I see these things.
Well, they classify the weather patterns that are dictated by ocean temperature. They do base this in some scientific record keeping and knowledge, okay?
Sure.
So
holes in the ground.
And they drill. You asked me how they figured out what the last 140 years of El Nino have been like.
Yeah. They dig holes.
Warm weather temperatures dictate the atmospheric patterns of the air that flows across the planet. That's why the Centre with the E is talking about the U.S. summer that's coming up. El Nino is drier, hotter, less precipitation, which leads to,
drier conditions, warmer conditions. Hot leads to warmth.
Exactly right.
I'm a scientist.
It also leads to atmospheric events like thunderstorms. More thunderstorms in hot, drier air.
Thunderstorms then lead to
fires,
climate models,
wildfires.
Wildfires.
Yeah, lightning strikes. Most wildfires are caused by lightning strikes.
61% chance of a major event.
I won't be sleeping at nights.
With
those kind of numbers.
Major event.
I'll be up at nights pacing.
Legit question for you.
Hosing my house down with a garden hose.
Legit question. You know that actually works?
It does.
You know the people who saved their house in the Palisades fire just stood out there with a hose?
Yeah.
Sprayed it. Save their house.
There were houses that had built-in sprinkler systems.
Yeah.
Forward-thinking homeowners.
And do you know where they got their water from?
Where?
It wasn't from the reservoirs, which again, some of them are empty. They pumped their pools. Did you see that?
I did see that,
You had people who were setting up pool pumps and using that water
to save their homes.
Isn't that amazing?
Brilliant.
Literally out there with like those water cannons going.
Problem solvers, man.
Spraying the top of the roof.
Yep.
Because it's the embers that fly through the air.
Yeah.
That catch on the roofs. Everybody should have a fireproof roof. That's what they should be doing.
I talked about the other day about how the CCA
metal roof. Just get a
invests in
metal roof.
metal. I'm telling you,
metal roofs.
Drive down from Blewett Pass into the Wenatchee area, right? You'll see nothing but metal roofs. The government came in and said we're going to eliminate the fire danger to all these barns and homes and even carports have brand new government metal roofs.
Pools and pumps.
That money was cut. They gave them metal roofs.
Here's a question for you: do you think there's people actually out there chomping on their nails? When they see that 61%, they're like, "Bah, that's more than a coin flip."
I do. I think people see the forecast for an El Nino summer, a dangerous, maybe historically, centuries El Nino summer, and they say, "Yeah, my fire risk is greater."
Don't you roll your eyes a little bit at that? Be dead honest with me. Dead honest.
I don't. I wish
don't?
I not
every year I see forecast climate models. They say listen, folks. Here's the deal. It's going to be the worst one ever. Well, and you're never going to see another one like it. In fact, it's a lifetime thing. And then next year, another lifetime storm.
Well, when you got 4 of the hottest years on record in the last 5 years, they're right every year.
But they're not right every year. It's not like it's not the hottest. It's hottest, and all these storms. I mean, sometimes there's fires, which happen. I mean, historically, there's fires.
Yeah, there is.
But the idea that it's something that you need to lose sleep over. I mean, protect your house in the way that you can. That's nice. But aside from Chris Farley coming and knocking on your door, which would be a tough thing to do.
Well, these days.
I feel like there's a lot of fear-mongering in this business. I do feel like a lot of it, like you look at that prediction model, strongest event.
Yeah, it's hard to look
at 140 years.
It's hard to look at news coverage. And knowing the industry as we know the industry. Everybody knows, if it bleeds, it leads. Fear sells. There's money in fear-mongering in the media, so you're not wrong.
We're trying to make people not afraid. We're trying to say,
we're not. You're the one
afraid.
calling them out. That's good.
I saw this side by side once of a map. I forget where it was. Some warmer weather place, and it was a map, and it showed the way that they cover weather has changed in the last 15 years, and what they showed was. On the left side of the map, you have you see this when you see local weather forecasts and things. You might see a map that has a lot of clouds, or it might be blue, which represents a lot of rain, or it might be whatever it is. You can see they're like color coded.
Sure.
Because simple people like me like pictures. And then there was another map that was all like bright oranges and reds, and those typically
those are warning colors. Those are alert colors.
Yes, that's what it is. Yeah. It's like that fire wheel where you're like, if it's green, Smokey says you can have a campfire.
Green, yellow, orange, red means.
And if it's red,
right?
I don't know what the saying is. It's like if it's red, duck your head, or that's probably not a thing.
Good.
But if it's red, no fire for you.
Right.
You can't have forest fires. But on this map, they had overlaid because it was a local weather forecast, and they had to show the different towns and everything. And it was just like 15 years apart. The temperatures that they were expecting that day were almost the exact same, 15 years apart. 71, 71, 77, 77.
Okay.
15 years ago, there wasn't quite the appetite and the fear-mongering for people just to, want to be scared all the time about everything. Mm-hmm. And so the weather was like, it's a pleasant 74. But in today's reporting, they said, this is the hottest 74 you've ever seen in your life, and you better watch out.
Yeah,
because it's coming to get you. It's going to get you in your sleep, that pleasant weather. I would love a little pleasant weather, to be honest. I mean, I'm looking outside. It's raining all the time. I couldn't even sleep last night. It was raining so hard.
It's supposed to maybe get to 50 today?
Actually,
100% chance of rain today?
This worked out to my benefit that we had some stuff canceled last night. I told you we had 3 practices last night. Different sports, different fields, different kids. 2 of them got canceled. And I was happy for that rain. That's an El Nino I can get behind. I can support that El Nino.
One of your kids in scuba camp that still got to go to practice yesterday? Or
football. They don't cancel football.
That's right.
Yeah, they don't cancel football. Love it. That's where you make men.
in flag football.
Wet, rainy flag football. Yeah, you make men in flag football.
Slip it in the mud.
Yeah, pluck that flag. I was teaching them because it's tough to pluck a flag. This is a side story. Mm-hmm. It's tough to pluck a flag, but you got to somebody's running by. I mean, you can't tackle them.
No.
And so I was trying to teach him. I don't know if is this bad parenting. You let me know. The kid runs by. We're in the backyard practicing this because it's tough. Have you ever tried? When's the last time you tried to pull a flag?
Oh, flag football, elementary school.
Or like, do you ever play? I guess it's not capture the flag. It would just be flag football, like elementary school. Yeah,
elementary school. It's been that long.
When we were kids, I felt like they were all Velcro, space age technology.
Sure.
Velcro, and now they're like they're little. They're like snapped on. You put them on there, and they're on these little like cups.
Oh, okay.
Lock in. It's like kind of a suction. There's a little pressure, so it doesn't fall off immediately. It's definitely not going to fall off just on its own. And so when these kids are running by, I'm like training my son now to go like really loud.
Okay.
When the kids are running by, so then they stop and they think, my flag just get plugged. Because he's got quick hands, but he's still new to the sport.
Sure.
And it's not as fast as he could be. Is that kind of cheating? And then the kid looks around and he goes, oh, no. And then,
meanwhile, he's stopped because he thinks he's been plucked.
Stopped, and then he's not moving. It's an easier target.
Then he's a sit and duck.
Yeah.
It's clever. We'll see if
it plays out.
It's a gray area.
First game's on Saturday. We'll see if it works. All right. Speaking of weather, should we get to this real fast? We have this. This is wild. King County is being. Is this a lawsuit that's happening against King County right now? They say that they knew that their levies.
Yes, it is a lawsuit. Yeah, knew their levies were compromised and in danger of.
And there is right now 83 different people who have signed on to this lawsuit, if my memory serves me correctly.
You're correct. Good job.
Against the King County, what is the name of this department? King County, what is it? The King County something. I had it in front of me and now it's gone.
I do not know.
King County Flood Control District.
Okay.
That's a mouthful.
This is the Pacific flood from last
The Pacific
December,
flood,
right?
yes.
Yeah.
And
we all remember the levee. Luke Ducey went down to the levee.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And that flooding was...
Was it the Desimone?
Citywide.
The Desimone? Is that how you pronounce it? The Green Rivers Desimone levee?
Okay.
Desimone? Doesn't matter. It's a levee. It bursts. It broke forth. And so you have, I think, 3 businesses, and you have like 83 different people who are now out a ton of money, like hundreds of thousands of dollars because this thing failed.
Mm-hmm.
And what they're saying is King County knew about these levees' failures and the potential for them failing for years. In fact, going back to 2018, they said there was actually a 2018 assessment that was done by the Army Corps of Engineers who identified multiple components in this levee that they say were minimally acceptable. And this is, again, that's 6 years ago. What was that math? You're good at math. 8 years ago.
Yeah.
Which is like the lowest threshold for passing whatever they need to pass. Minimally acceptable. And according to their own website, the King County Flood District's own website, they have the words aging and inadequate flood protection facilities when they're talking about needing to improve the county's aging and inadequate flood protection facilities. And so you have all these plaintiffs who are saying, hey, I'm out a lot of money because you guys were not upkeeping these things that were placed there temporarily. They placed a bunch of temporary fixes that were only supposed to last about 5 years. And they have now been there double the length of time they were supposed to be there. Mm-hmm. And now a few of them have failed, apparently. And do you think they have a case? Do you think the city's going to pay out?
They absolutely have a case. The city will settle. We've learned this from time and time and example again.
Sure.
That the city will look at the evidence involved. They clearly have evidence of failure to maintain these to an adequate standard. They knew the expectancy was half the time they were asking out of these levies. And so many people lost business, lost their home, were damaged. There's a lot of property damage. There's millions and millions.
There's one guy.
Damage.
There's one guy who says that the damage to his home is in excess of $60,000, just his out-of-pocket losses. Mm-hmm. That doesn't even count. Insurance is going to cover some of it, but his out-of-pocket losses is $60,000. And he's saying that federally, if you apply for FEMA recovery dollars, which you can do, there is a per household limit of $43,000. So he's still going to be out almost $20,000.
And that's why the lawsuit.
And that's why the lawsuit.
Yeah, to make them whole.
Try to make these people whole.
And they'll settle.
I hope so. It's their duty. If you're collecting money to keep people safe in these situations, and then you're not upkeeping the structures that keep those people safe, then absolutely that is their fault. Although the city is fighting back. The King County Flood District is saying, hey, this is a once-in-a-lifetime historic flood that happened.
And a levee's supposed to protect you from that. That's why you got levees.
There you go.
I mean, hey, hi, how are you?
Shut to me.
Yeah, their case is weak. Didn't President
is that the
Trump
decision from Judge
Spike? Yeah,
Judge Spike?
You bet.
All right.
You paid a man.
You find on behalf of the...
I find on the plaintiffs.
Plaintiffs?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yep.
Good for you. Congrats, plaintiffs. I think your case is going to go
Spike
very well.
said you get the cash.
Judge Spike. All right, we got a lot more coming up. Luke Ducey's going to join us next. World Cup is coming to town. A lot of people are coming to town. Are they going to use the infrastructure that we already have in place, the cameras, to help keep people safer.
Or are they going to be handcuffed?
Or are they going to be...
If you'll allow the pun.
Oh? Luke's going to join us next. We'll talk about it. Stick around.
Local news from local voices you trust.
Flights out of Joint Base Lewis McChord.
KIRO News Radio.
Questions about whether the Pentagon is deploying special forces to the Middle East.
The news you depend on.
Gas prices up 25 cents in the last week.
Conversation.
Then all of a sudden, Trump comes out, hey, we're having productive talks.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
Touchdown, Seahawks!
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM. Streaming everywhere on the KIRO News Radio app.
You've all heard the term the sandwich generation. It's not what you think unless you're a person with it. You're caring for a parent, you're caring for a kid. That's us. That's me. That's the sandwich generation. And looking at retirement or, senior living communities can be one of the hardest decisions that you'll ever make. Here's what I wish someone had told me sooner. Aegis Living. The Aegis Living facilities in Western Washington are unparalleled. Best of Western Washington. Senior Living Magazine rated 60,000 communities nationwide and voted Aegis Living the best in the nation in 2025. Go to aegisliving.com/spike and schedule a visit. Take a tour. It's free. There's no pressure. When you do, you're going to say this must be the place because it is. aegisliving.com/spike.
If you've been arrested for DUI, you need a hero. We're giving free consultations via phone and Zoom. Go to DUIheroes.com or call 1-800-DUI-HERO.
We're human and we make mistakes. If you need someone by your side during a challenging time, DUI Heroes is there for you 24/7. They're excellent at what they do. DUI Heroes averages 90% of all DUI offenses they take on being reduced or completely dismissed. Your DUI defense specialist, DUIheroes.com.
Are you stuck staring at your W-2? Are tax refund worries holding you back? You probably have FOMO, the fear of messing up. The fix? Using TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. They find every credit and deduction to help you get every refund dollar you deserve, or your money back. It's time to overcome your fear of messing up and get your taxes done right. Start filing today in the Credit Karma app.
A multi-billion-dollar settlement is paying claims for up to 21 years. If you were exposed to weed killers at work or at home, your rights are affected. If you or your family has or had non-Hodgkin lymphoma, you could receive $6,000 to $165,000 or more. This settlement impacts you even if you're not sick because this blood cancer can take 10 to 15 years to appear. If you stay in the settlement, you give up your right to sue. Learn more at weedkillerclass.com or call 888-403-8201. Paid for by the Roundup Settlement.
If you own rental property in Washington, you probably already know it's not what it used to be. Rising property taxes, increased maintenance costs, and some of the most onerous landlord-tenant regulations in the country. At some point, many landlords ask the question, is this still worth it? Brian Evans, CEO of Madrona Financial and CPAs, is hosting a live interactive workshop called Landlord Exit Strategies. In this seminar, he'll break down the impact of today's regulations, strategies that may allow you to defer and potentially reduce taxes, and how the Delaware Statutory Trust may help. It's a straightforward conversation about your options before you make a costly decision. To register or learn more, visit madronafinancial.com or call 833-673-7373. Be sure to catch Growing Your Wealth Saturdays at 9 a.m.
This is a paid advertisement. Investments involve risk. See full disclosures at madronafinancial.com.
What if you could have the most reliable Wi-Fi? And get this, what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years? That's the Xfinity 5-year price guarantee.
Just 5 years of fiber-powered Wi-Fi that boosts speeds to the devices that need them most.
That finds and fixes problems before you even notice them. Like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a sixth sense. And that keeps you gaming in the fast lane, even when the whole family's banking on bandwidth. And here's the best part. No annual contracts, no hidden fees, and our best equipment included.
Plus, get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi.
Hey, let's face it, a lot can change in 5 years. Kids grow taller, dreams grow bigger, but your Wi-Fi, it would stay reliable and the price would stay put. The Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities. Xfinity, imagine that.
Select plans only. Restrictions apply. Powered by fiber. Connected to the premises by coaxial cable. Actual speeds vary.
Why
Washington's lottery gives out a lot of green to winners in schools and retailers awesomely. Nearly 600 mil to people that play. Another 180 mil to vocational training and education from preschool to college. Now you got the knowledge, a win-win for all of us. Play Washington lottery, lottery, lottery. Play Washington lottery, lottery, yeah.
Visit walottery.com. Who benefits to learn more.
Tune in to The Money Professor with Chris Longworth.
Having some certainty about your plan is definitely going to give you all the advantages.
Chris has the heart of an educator.
If you really want to do this correctly, then you get to enjoy every day of retirement like it's a Saturday. And if you don't, it's a Monday for the rest of your life.
Tune in to The Money Professor with Chris Longworth, Saturdays at 8 a.m. right here on KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM.
Upgrade your comfort and cut energy costs with Lake Washington Windows. Get 20% off energy-efficient windows and doors, plus $1,000 off whole home projects. Enjoy 18 months, no payments, no interest. Schedule your estimate by April 15th at lakewashingtonwindows.com.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Nate Connors. During the first full day of blockade of Iranian ports, diplomats worked through back channels to arrange a new round of talks between the United States and Iran.
Washington Republican Congressman Michael Baumgartner tells the Jason Rantz Show on Seattle Red 770 AM the U.S. naval blockade gives Iran's leaders a stark choice.
It's a choice to cut a deal or to be on a target list.
Washington Democrat Adam Smith, the ranking member of the House Armed Services Committee, says he does not support the blockade and wants to see both sides back at the bargaining table. Frank Lindsay, KIRO News Radio.
The Tukwila City Council is exploring ways to permanently banning all ICE facilities in the city. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey has the latest.
A temporary ban voted in place in February expires in August. Dozens of residents told city councilors at a meeting Monday they want ICE banned for good.
What do you want your legacy to be? Will you be the city council that exacerbates and perpetuates ICE's presence in Tukwila, or the city council that was willing to mitigate it but not eliminate it?
The current ban blocks new permits and rezoning requests tied to ICE detention centers. They can't ban ICE from signing private lease agreements or conducting operations. Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
Almond Roca has been around since 1923. Starting this summer, the Tacoma-based candy maker says they're going to roll out their first new flavor variation in more than 50 years with the debut of a hazelnut mountain bar for widespread distribution. Brown and Haley tells the Seattle Times the last full retail rollout was the peanut butter mountain bar in 1972. Dozens of people in the town of Pacific are suing the King County Flood Control District after floodwaters from the White River damaged their homes back in December. KIRO 7's Brandon Thompson reports 83 people signed on to the suit, blaming aging and inadequate levees that failed.
Both Lily and Jacqueline, who both live on White River Drive, were not home when the levee breached.
Something in my gut kept saying, this doesn't feel right.
Watching the evacuations come in and waters rise from their Ring cameras.
My cameras have audio. I can hear people screaming, oh my God. Oh, it sounded like we were in a war.
The breach happened when water shot through these HESCO barriers that have been in place since 2008.
No comment so far from the King County Flood Control District. On Wall Street, stocks are looking great as the S&P 500 climbs back toward record territory, up nearly 370 points. The Dow is up 370, S&P 500 up 82, NASDAQ up 440. And now check on your KIRO News Radio traffic, brought to you by Home Comfort Alliance. We've got a couple car fires out there this afternoon. Out in Kitsap County through Chico, we've opened up a lane southbound 3 at Chico Way where we have a car fire. There's a 3-mile solid backup, though, that stretches into Silverdale. We cleared our crash northbound 3 in the same area at Erlands Boulevard. No longer any backup heading north. In Alderwood, a car fire southbound 405 at Damson Road blocks both general purpose lanes. That leaves just the toll lane open to all drivers, and you're bumper to bumper to the I-5 interchange. North 405, you're going to slow from 527 to the scene to check it out. And here in Seattle, North 5 at the I-90 interchange, a collision blocks the HOV lane. Your backup starts at the West Seattle Bridge. 25 minutes now to get through downtown Seattle. Considering a new Lennox cooling system before the summer heat wave? Get a price estimate on your phone in 60 seconds from Home Comfort Alliance. Visit homecomfortalliance.com now. And now let's check out that weather. It is windy, rainy, and cool all afternoon with a high near 48. We're at 46 right now in downtown Seattle. I'm Nate Connors, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
All right, welcome back to the show. Listen, everybody's excited about the World Cup coming to town. Even if you don't like soccer, people like money. A lot of people going to rent out their VRBOs. Did you see that story recently, Spike?
Yeah,
VRBO costs.
They've given incentives to bring on new hosts.
Yeah, because they're like, listen, we need the inventory. Yeah. We want people here. We want money. Everybody likes money. But we're going to get a lot of people here spending that money. There's going to be like 750,000 fans, they estimate, that come to the region to catch some of these games. And how do we keep people safe in the region when they are here, and who's coming to town? We're very interested. Joining us now to talk about this is Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio reporter.
I am going to drop a deuce on everybody.
Luke, welcome to the show.
I like my intro.
Me too.
I do. Yeah, Thank you for that. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
It's good to be here.
You're the only one who gets a special intro. Did you know that?
Oh, it's awesome.
Yeah.
And I feel even better. No, I love it. I'm coming back. I'm going to come back every time now.
Good. All right, so Mayor Katie Wilson recently has been saying these cameras that the city already has. Is it only like 65 of them or something? How many do they have?
It's a good amount. There was you remember City Council not too long ago approved installing more, creating more. Then they stopped some of those, except for in Pioneer Square. So they have cameras there. They're just not going to be able to use them during the World Cup.
What's the point of a camera that you don't turn on? You ever heard that old joke about a mime in the forest? Do you guys ever heard that one?
No.
I can't actually remember the punchline, so I'll stop now. But it's kind of, you get the idea.
The deal is the punchline is a mime thing, so it wouldn't even work on radio.
If a tree, okay, here it is.
Right?
If a tree falls in the forest, does it make sound? And then the mime joke is, if a tree falls in the forest and it lands on a mime, does anybody care? Have you heard that?
That's pretty good.
Have now.
This is one of my dad's famous jokes. He used to tell me all the time. He didn't write it.
He'll be here all day.
Mike, you've heard that one, right?
Sure.
Mike's heard it.
Sure. That reminds me of what's the sound of one hand clapping?
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That is a hand sound.
Well, Luke, we're out of time. Thanks for coming in.
Hey, it's great being here. Can we drop my music one more time? Then I'm out of here. Then I'm out.
I'm going to drop a deuce on everybody.
All right.
Your question was, what's the point of having surveillance cameras, closed-circuit cameras in the TV if you can't use them for law enforcement and safety?
Why did Katie Wilson say she doesn't want to use these cameras?
Here's the deal. I think there's a lot of pressure that she's facing, as she had been during the campaign, and now into office, most recently, by groups of people who, they don't want these cameras being used for surveillance for a number of different reasons. They don't want federal agents and agencies to tap into them and use them for whatever they're going to use them for, from immigration enforcement to whatever else that they're going to do in their minds. But also, there is something to say when you – there are a lot of studies out there that have shown that when you take cameras like this and you use them in different platforms and then you incorporate AI – a lot of the results could be biased, and especially when it comes to locating suspects within seconds. So there's that. That's the criticism. However, I mean, here's I don't think we understand, and if you're not a soccer fan, you haven't been to a World Cup. I've been to about 3 of them. They're awesome, and I love them, and it's fantastic.
Which ones did you go to, by the way?
I went to one in Japan.
Oh, man.
In the U.S., and 2 in the U.S. Have we had 2 in the U.S.? Or am I just dreaming that I've been to 3? Maybe this is the 3rd.
Did you go?
God,
okay.
I'm so tired. I got up at 3 this morning. But here's the deal. Okay. We don't realize how big this is going to be, really. We just heard from one of the representatives from the Seattle FIFA World Cup 2026 committee yesterday as I was touring the Emergency Operations Center down in downtown Seattle. Ticket sales for Seattle games are being purchased in 180 different countries. Think about that. There are people all around the globe buying tickets to come here to Seattle or resell them or whatever, but there are going to be a lot of people here.
Yeah.
On our streets.
And how do you keep, there's going to be people looking at customs to make sure that everybody, just because you are buying a ticket to a game doesn't guarantee entry into the country.
No, it doesn't.
So you're going to have customs already looking at folks. So, a lot of people are saying like, well, what does Seattle need to be so vigilant for? with people, camera-wise when they're in town. They've already been looked at, hopefully, through the airports. But we already have the cameras. They're already working. She's not turning them off for good, right? I mean, she's saying that, is this just a temporary turn off of these cameras? She's not getting rid of them. Well, she's just not expanding the program.
Not expanding the program, not getting rid of them, that they're going to stay off during the World Cup included unless there is something that it becomes a credible threat to safety of people. And there are going to be 4 different watch areas around the city. It's not just downtown near the stadium. There are going to be 4 different areas around the city, including Seattle Center, where there are going to be fans that are going to be encouraged to come down here and watch on big screens, join in the partying here and the festivities. There will be things for kids, things like that. So there's going to be a lot of activities going on, but there is an exclusionary zone on match days downtown that will stretch from Yesler Way all the way to Royal Brom and then First Avenue to the stadium. So basically like a kind of a mile around the stadium. That's going to be an exclusionary zone that you will not be able to park in that area at all during the World Cup match days. And that enforcement starts at 2 a.m. that morning.
Let me ask you guys a question. And Luke, I don't know how much you can speculate on this because you're a reporter. But Spike and I, we're opinion guys. Do big crowds make you nervous, Spike? I mean,
do big crowds? Sure, of course they do.
And they probably didn't. I don't remember being as aware of the threats that big crowds inherently have with them when I was a kid, because hopefully when you're a kid, you're kind of, blissfully ignorant of a lot of these things.
Fair enough.
But as we have become adults and as you have had more famous, horrible, big crowded events, horrible things happen. I'm thinking like the Boston Marathon and things like that.
Sure.
Cameras were the only reason that they got those guys. They did not know that was going to happen until it happened. And God forbid anything bad happens. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is to have a system that you have that can be used, I don't see really like the downside outweighing the positive side when it comes to what
if I told you that there's a 10% expected decline in visitation to this country for World Cup games because of President Trump's immigration policies?
Because they don't want to be caught on camera?
Because they don't want to be surveilled. They don't want to be asked for their papers.
For what reason? They're going to be asked, if you want to come into the country, you have to be asked your papers. So you're already willing to do that, but you're not willing to do it in Seattle.
There is an estimate that 10% of the crowds that were predicted for these games are going to not come to the U.S.
Well, how are they getting in the country then?
They're not coming.
Oh, okay. Well, that's not a Seattle issue. That's a customs issue for the whole country,
but
right?
that's what the Seattle issue is all about. It's the Trump administration's statement that they're going to use the World Cup games in America to do ICE enforcement. They're going to monitor the crowds, and that's why this camera turnoff is an issue. Because this administration has what they feel abused
I would assume,
the immigration story.
Don't get me wrong, but I would assume that if you're coming to the World Cup, you're a massive soccer fan. So you're probably dotting all of your I's and crossing your T's. You're doing all the things you need to do to get approved to come to the United States, right?
Yeah, but a lot of these visitors to the city will be from inside the country, and they'll be under surveillance from ICE if these cameras are allowed to be used in the game, except for where there's a credible threat.
But you're saying that 90%.
Have you heard that estimation as well, right, Luke?
10%. Yeah,
10% reduction in expected visitors and shoppers and game
revenue.
Revenue
is the new estimate.
Yeah.
Do you think that outweighs that negative, that 10% negative outweighs the safety question?
I would argue,
would it, Spike?
I would argue it's not a safety question.
You're not worried at all about anything happening.
That's not what I said.
Well, I'm asking you.
It's not a safety question. It's a law enforcement question. It's an immigration enforcement question.
God forbid. You know what? Let's come back to this.
Yeah, can we? Luke, can you hang?
Sure. Can you hang for a minute?
Yeah.
And you can referee this. When we come back, Luke's going to referee, just like a soccer player would, or a soccer
Got your yellow card?
Would.
Got your red card ready?
I got the cards redy and I'm ready to fall on the ground and roll around.
You will give one of us a red card, and you will decide which one. And there's no draws.
No.
Okay.
There's no draws in this conversation. I hope not. We got a lot more coming up. Stick around.
The John Curley Show.
If by like the 15th of October rolls around and suddenly there's a bolt of lightning and I croak out right there, I'm fine.
Weekdays 3 to 7.
My dream of growing a giant pumpkin is just a couple of months away. I know somebody who knows somebody who knows a guy who knows a guy who knows someone who got me the seed, the 1,500-pounder, baby. It's in a secret location. I don't want to say where it is.
Watch The John Curley Show live on YouTube.
When the dollar's convertibility into gold ended in 1971, gold was fixed at $35 an ounce. Fast forward to today, and the U.S. dollar has lost over 85% of its purchasing power. Meanwhile, gold has increased in value by over 12,000%. Central banks are buying gold at record levels. Major firms are holding significant positions in gold. And I choose to buy gold from Birch Gold Group. Stan Bongino, and it all starts with education. Birch Gold just announced their Learn and Earn Precious Metals event. This free online event rewards you for learning the basics of investing in precious metals. Sign up to get free silver on your next purchase if you qualify. And you can get even larger incentives as you go. The more you learn, the more you can earn. But act now. This special event only runs through April 30th. So text my name, Dan, to the number 989898 to join Birch Gold's Learn and Earn Precious Metals event by April 30th. Text Dan to 989898 today. Message and data rates may apply.
I had pain. I had numbness in my feet. That pain and that numbness just got worse and worse and worse as time went on.
This is Greg describing life with neuropathy.
I went to 5 podiatrists, tried different treatments, tried different orthotics, tried different shoes, had cortisone shots in the tops and the bottoms of my feet. Saw a neurologist. All my medical doctors said, can't help you. Live with the pain. You're not going to be able to sleep. This is your life. And then I just gave up until I found Sound Pain Solutions.
I'm Dr. Mark Shelley, a chiropractic physician and board-certified functional neurologist at Sound Pain Solutions. Our neuropathy treatments can rehabilitate damaged nerves. We use FDA-cleared, non-surgical, drug, and pain-free procedures that help neuropathy sufferers like Greg find relief.
I feel better. I mean, just feeling better is huge.
If you experience numbness, shooting or burning pains, or loss of balance, call us. Sound Pain Solutions, 855-996-0025 or click soundpainsolutions.com.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Xfinity Tech Support, Matthew speaking.
Hi, I live in a pretty remote place, like Jurassic Park remote. No!
Wow.
Will Xfinity Mobile work out here?
Yep, the combination of reliable Wi-Fi and 5G makes it so that you can stay connected in all kinds of places. Plus, you get access to ultra-fast speeds and coverage, whether you're poolside or out live streaming with a T-Rex.
Hold still. You're about to go viral.
Welcome to a new era of Wi-Fi boosted mobile. Cut your mobile bill in half with 2 lines of unlimited. Learn more at xfinitymobile.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Watch Jurassic Park with Xfinity. Restrictions apply. Xfinity Internet required. Savings comparison based on promotional rate for 2 lines of Xfinity Mobile Unlimited versus 2 lines of T-Mobile Experience More, Verizon Unlimited Plus, and AT&T Starter as of February 10th, 2026. Taxes, fees, extra.
You're losing your hair and you simply need a solution that works. You want the best. Modern technology, top-rated physicians, something that's guaranteed to work. Guys, you need world-class Dr. Perungo and his team at Advanced Hair. Advanced Hair has completely redefined hair restoration. From the experience itself to their unmatched results. Receding hairline, bald spot, thinning hair, maybe all 3 like I had. Get your hair back with Advanced Hair's simple one-day treatment that begins to regrow your own natural hair the very next day. Advanced Hair has changed tens of thousands of lives, including mine. And get this, Advanced Hair is once again the winner of the 425 Business of the Year. For your free consultation, call 425-449-8185. Right now, you'll get $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. Refine your hairline with the team that redefined hair restoration. That's 425-449-8185. Or for the before and afters, visit advancedhair.com.
You can count on trusted local news and information from the Seattle Times, one of the few independent, locally owned news organizations in the country, right here in the Pacific Northwest. Subscribe today and don't miss a beat at seattletimes.com/subscribe.
Thanks for calling CM Heating.
Aren't you the company that gives away free furnaces?
That's us. Buy a qualifying high-efficiency cooling system and the furnace is free.
Wow.
Yeah, and our home comfort advisors are tax credit and rebate specialists, so they'll handle the rebate for you.
Go to CM Heating for better comfort, lower bills, and a free furnace you'll love for years. Get your free estimate for furnace replacement at cmheating.com. And remember, for furnaces, fireplaces, hot water, and total home comfort, including electrical,
there's no beating CM Heating.
All right, welcome back to the show. We're having a safety debate right now. Luke Ducey joins us, KIRO News Radio reporter. He was recently, were you down at City Hall? Where were you yesterday? You were actually asking questions. You were holding feet to the fire.
Yes, as a matter of fact, I was at the city's Emergency Operations Center, which is in downtown Seattle, and that's where they hold in case there's an emergency. Everyone goes in there and they do their emergency things.
And the topic on the table that we're discussing right now, the thing that you were asking them yesterday, was about Mayor Katie Wilson has said for these cameras that the city has that are already up and operating that they already use, she's saying we're not going to use them during World Cup because she doesn't want federal intervention and them using those cameras for ICE purposes?
Yeah, I think that's one of the issues for sure is so that federal agents don't tap into those systems and use them perhaps for immigration enforcement. I mean, these are things that she campaigned on and things that she had promised the people who voted for her.
It's also state law.
And my question is whether or not when you have an influx of, look at Seattle right now as it stands right now. Tell me if you feel safe walking down the street right now. Are you going to feel safe with an extra million people? Well, not million. What is it, 750,000?
Yeah.
How many? 750?
They're expecting 750 in Seattle.
It feels to me to be a little bit, here's my personal opinion about it. I feel like it's a little bit of a political statement. It's not necessarily what's in the best interest of the safety, which is their job, right? Isn't their job to keep everyone safe?
Absolutely, yeah.
So their job is to keep people safe. And they're taking away one of those very valuable tools to help keep people safe in the name of Katie Wilson's political promise that she made during her campaign.
Also, state law that we don't use state resources to enforce federal immigration policy. That's state law.
Well, if it's state law, then she doesn't have to worry about the cameras being used. She could still use them locally, and I don't see the problem.
That's because the information is not safeguarded.
Isn't it state law that it's not going to be?
Doesn't mean it's safeguarded. I'm with you. I understand it is state law that you can't use.
Then I don't
you can't
understand
interact with these things. Well, here's the deal. This policy of Trump's immigration enforcement going to use World Cup games to enforce immigration policy. FIFA has come out and asked President Trump directly, can you stop ICE raids during World Cup games in the United States? Because it affects everybody that's coming to this game.
Let me ask you a question. If somebody who's dangerous, who is here illegally, is caught in Seattle, who should be, let's say they have an order to go home and they've neglected to go home, and they're breaking the law, should ICE be able to interact with that person?
Sure, absolutely.
Okay, then what are we talking about here?
So then the people who are here with various states' legal statuses of
then
immigration,
they should have nothing to worry about.
But except they do. Case after case after case after case are full of people who have been detained, harassed.
Do you think that's going to be a significant enough number that it overrides the safety of the million-plus people that are going to be in town? I'm counting the people who live in Seattle as well.
FIFA thinks it's a big enough number.
Does FIFA want the cameras on?
No. Well, FIFA wants the cameras could be on today. And for all of the World Cup and every city in America, if Trump would promise to not use these gathering opportunities to enforce his immigration policy.
Does Seattle PD want the cameras on, Luke?
Captain Daniel Nelson said to me when I was asking at the Emergency Operations Center yesterday, I asked, he said they don't mind not using the cameras. And then I asked him, well, do you prefer that you be able to use cameras? And he did not answer that yes or no, but he did say—
Because he wants to keep his job.
He did say this, that yes. He did say that, it helps everyone to stay on the same page, especially if you have a description of someone, what they're wearing. If you're just doing that over radio calls, that can become like a game of telephone where, you don't get the, spit out at the other end. Chief Barnes says now in response, he's staying in weekly contact with the FBI in order to develop and see if there are any credible threats.
Sean Barnes?
Sean Barnes.
Yeah, federally?
Sean Barnes.
He's talking to the feds?
Talking
He's
to the
working
FBI.
with the FBI.
Really?
To see if
That's
there's any
interesting.
credible threats so that they can turn those cameras on if
As
there
you
are any
should.
credible
So
threats.
they do want to work with the feds.
With regard to credible threats.
Okay.
Not with regard to immigration enforcement.
So they do
Big
want to work with
difference.
with the feds to keep the cameras on. Yes? Is that
With-
is that what he said?
With
Oh,
regard
you're
to
asking me?
Yes.
Yes, he is in contact with the FBI weekly, he said.
Okay. Well, it sounds like if they're working with the feds, then they'll hopefully keep everybody safe, and that's the best thing ever, is to keep people safe. That's what you want. All right, Luke Ducey, thanks for coming in.
Thanks
We
for having
appreciate
me.
it. We got a lot more coming up. Stick
No
around.
red cards.
We'll be
No
right
red
back.
cards. You're fine.
Hi, I'm Charlie Harder.
And I'm Amanda Factor.
Is there a chance of a deal this week?
We will have the latest on the war with Iran.
Another legal loss for President Trump.
Former Attorney General Rob McKenna has thoughts on a judge tossing the suit against the Wall Street Journal.
And some potential for some active weather tomorrow. We'll have your forecast and Sully with traffic every 10 minutes on the 3.
Join us tomorrow 5 to 9 on Seattle's Morning News.
We're on YouTube, our app, your smart speaker, and 97.3 FM.
I just can't dig it.
Dig what?
My water line.
Needs replacing?
And I don't want digging in my yard.
And maybe your driveway.
Can't dig it.
Don't dig it.
But how do you?
Apollo Plumbing replaces water lines without digging up your yard.
You're Dan.
From the Ready Right Now plumbers.
Apollo Plumbing.
Our trenchless technology replaces water and sewer lines.
Without digging up my yard?
2 little holes is all it takes.
Sounds better.
Faster, too.
And my yard?
Like we were never there.
Sounds spendy.
Not so much.
Oh?
In the end, about the same as that messy digging you don't want.
How do you figure?
Think about that landscaping you love.
Yeah?
Trenchless means you won't be paying to replace it.
Or my driveway.
We run everything underground.
Trenchless?
Do them all the time.
How about...
Easy payments?
Yeah.
With approved credit. Sure thing.
When can you get started?
We are the Ready Right Now plumbers.
Love that.
Apollo Plumbing, trenchless waterline replacement.
Sewer lines, too.
Can you dig that?
That I can.
ApolloPlumbing.com.
If you're looking to buy or sell a home in Washington, recent headlines might concern you. Talk of pocket listings or private networks where only certain consumers see certain properties are all over the media. Good news. The legislature recently passed a bill to protect you in your transaction. No secret deals, all listings available for everyone to see, not just an exclusive club of insiders. This means more competition, better offers, and fair access for all consumers. Learn more at warealtor.org, sponsored by Washington Realtors.
Did you know that most people wait 6 or 7 years before they buy a new TV? That's a lot of time in front of one TV. So why not get one of the best sets for the next 7 years, like one of the top-rated Samsung, LG, or Sony models? Too expensive? What if you could get up to $1,000 trade-in for your old set? Who would do a stupid deal like this? Right now, at Video Only, you can get big bucks for your old set as a trade-in and a hot price on the new models. Don't be sorry. Check out Video Only.
Has your junk drawer taken over the whole house? Closets jammed? Garage packed? Pantry a mess? Don't just live with it. John Curley here for Closets by Design. Organize your closets, garages, laundry rooms, and home offices with Closets by Design. Everything is custom built for how you actually live. For a limited time, get 40% off plus an additional 15% off and 18-month 0% financing on approved credit if paid in full. Go to closetsbydesign.com or call 1-800-BY-DESIGN.
I saw her texting coming up to a stop sign. And so I saw the accident coming and she T-boned us.
In the blink of an eye, Crystal's life changed when she suffered a severe spinal injury.
The pain was something I had never experienced before in my neck. I got massage therapy. I saw a chiropractor. I was prescribed muscle relaxers so I could sleep. I got depressed. Nothing was relieving the pain.
Drugs, sleepless nights, and depression. Sound familiar? I'm Dr. Mark Shelley, a chiropractic physician and board-certified functional neurologist. At Sound Pain Solutions, our treatments include high-dose laser combined with spinal decompression and other comprehensive therapies to rehabilitate damaged discs. We use treatments that are non-surgical, FDA-cleared, drug and pain-free.
I was able to get off my pain medicines and I was able to sleep through the night, and that was what I was desperate for.
To learn if you're a candidate for our treatment, call us. Sound Pain Solutions, 855-996-0025 or click soundpainsolutions.com.
Hey, how's your money situation? Are you ready for retirement? Well, if you want to know what the pros are doing to make wealth multiply and retire like royalty, then you need to listen to this show, Sound Path Through Retirement, with Ben Koval and Matt Leibarger. Get your money right and tune in every weekend, Saturdays at 10 a.m. and noon on KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM.
From posters and presentations to labels and loyalty cards, Staples has all the print to boost your brand. Shop now in store and online. Staples, that was easy.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio, KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by DEA Take Back Day.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper. Republican Congressman Tony Gonzalez of Texas and Democratic Congressman Eric Swalwell of California have officially resigned in the wake of sexual misconduct allegations. Congressman Gonzalez admitted to an affair with a staffer who later died by suicide. At least 4 women have made claims against Democrat Eric Swalwell. Lana Drewis says he raped her in 2018.
My delay in taking action against Eric was driven by fear, not doubt. Fear of his political power, his background as an attorney, and his family law enforcement ties.
Democratic Senator Ruben Gallego of Arizona regrets his friendship with Swalwell.
It's been an awful situation for the victims. It's been an awful situation, again, for Eric's family. It's been an awful situation for my family. We've been betrayed. We were lied to repeatedly and manipulated for many years.
Cleanup is underway after a tornado brought up to 115-mile-per-hour winds to Hillsdale, Kansas. Officials say some 100 homes were severely impacted. Miami County Undersheriff Matthew Kelly.
If you lost your home, a pet, anything like that is going to be difficult to deal with, and this is going to affect people for a long time.
Meteorologist Craig Allen on more severe weather expected today.
A level 3 out of 5 for an enhanced risk of tornadoes and severe weather basically covers Iowa, northern sections of Illinois, and into Wisconsin. This puts more than 14 million people in an area of 51,000 square miles at risk through today.
A tornado watch has just been issued for much of the Chicago area. While we wait for word on whether U.S. talks with Iran will resume, there was another set of historic talks today in Washington. CBS's Cammie McCormick.
Lebanon and Israel held their first high-level talks in decades. Secretary of State Marco Rubio hosted the Israeli and Lebanese ambassadors at the State Department. He said the talks were part of a longer process. Israel wants to see Lebanon completely separate itself from Tehran and its proxy Hezbollah. The Israeli ambassador was positive about the talks and said Israel and Lebanon are united in liberating Lebanon from Iranian influence.
The husband of a missing Michigan woman in the Bahamas speaks with CBS News after 5 days in detention. Brian Hooker claims his wife Lynette fell off their boat during a nighttime ride and was swept away by the current. He tells CBS's Christian Benavides.
Certain things that were said to me during the investigation led me to believe that people were not on the side of getting back out there to find Lynette and were perhaps acting out their grief in other ways.
Stocks have closed up on Wall Street. This is CBS News.
Help keep our community safe and healthy during National Prescription Drug Take-Back Day, April 25th. Find a collection site near you at DEATakeback.com.
Violent jewelry thieves apprehended in Bellevue. More on that coming up. But first, your KIRO News Radio traffic. Out in Kitsap County, southbound 3 at Chico Way. We're still on scene of a car fire blocking your right lane, and you're backed up bumper to bumper into Silverdale. Out in Alderwood, our car fire south 405 at Damson Road has been cleared to your right shoulder, so that opens up both general purpose lanes. Those backups are clearing out, but both directions of 405 remain pretty slow still through the scene. Westbound 520 at I-5, a disabled vehicle blocks your right lane at the on-ramp to South 5. That left lane is open. North 5, scattered backups from the West Seattle Bridge to the Ship Canal. Plan on 20 minutes to get through downtown. Eastbound on the West Seattle Bridge, you've got a collision right at State Route 99. Looks like it's right under the overpass there. And in Puyallup, westbound 512 approaching Meridian, a stall. Not sure which lane it's blocking, but you're bumper to bumper backed onto the Valley Freeway. This report brought to you by KIRO News Radio.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
And good afternoon. I'm Nate Connors. One day after Seattle's Emergency Operations Center announced they will not be allowed to access closed-circuit cameras to help monitor crowds during this summer's World Cup, KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey reports SPD Chief Sean Barnes says he's consulting with federal agencies to help keep the city safe.
Chief Sean Barnes tells the G and Ursula Show officers are following a directive from Mayor Katie Wilson to keep the cameras off when monitoring the hundreds of thousands of World Cup fans from all over the globe expected on Seattle's streets unless there's a credible threat.
I speak with the FBI almost weekly, looking at what threats we may have to the games. And so at the time that I think I need to make a case to the mayor on credible threats, I feel comfortable in doing so.
Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
A 17-year-old boy was shot in the back early this morning and is recovering at Harborview Medical Center. KIRO News Radio's James Lynch has the latest.
SPD says the shooting happened just after 3 a.m. near the Atlantic City boat launch in the Seward Park neighborhood. The 17-year-old victim was in a car with two other boys, 13 and 17, when someone opened fire. SPD Detective Brian Pritchard.
They were driving on Seward Park Avenue South when gunshots were heard and the victim was shot inside the vehicle.
King County deputies found the teen in the Skyway neighborhood. He told them he was shot near Seward Park. So far, no arrests have been made. James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
Two people are under arrest for multiple violent jewelry thefts. KIRO 7's Jake Chapman says it's a result of a nearly 2-year investigation by Bellevue police.
Thieves targeting the elderly for money, jewelry.
She did it so quick. You know, I thought they wanted direction.
Anything they can get their hands on.
All those scars. And I was bleeding. And I got the Rolex, jumped in the car, and took off.
But last Wednesday, a breakthrough in their investigation.
Investigators saw the two suspects operating at an assisted living facility in Federal Way. Then at a grocery store, they followed them to Kirkland and arrested them. They face multiple charges. And now your KIRO News Radio weather. A stormy afternoon ahead with rainy and windy conditions. A high only around 48. And we're there right now, windy and rainy and 46 in downtown Seattle. I'm Nate Connors, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
And now, it's time for the Jake and Spike Show on KIRO News Radio. With your hosts, Jake Skorheim and Spike O'Neill.
Welcome back to the show. 1 hour down, 2 hours to go. Man, what a fast hour. If you missed any of it, go back, download the podcast. You're not going to regret that you did so. The price is right. It's free. All we ask is that you listen to us for all 3 hours. Just don't miss a minute. Don't fast forward. Don't speed it up. Some people listen at double the speed, which is fine. It's personal preference, but just get all 3 hours in. That's all we ask. You can text us if you want to get in on the conversation. Muckleshoot Casino Resort text line, 888-973-5476. Spike, this is a conversation I've been looking forward to having because I know that this is a topic that you care passionately about this, as do I. Mm-hmm. You're very interested in this, and they're trying it in New York. We've talked about this a number of times, the idea of like a government-run grocery store.
Yes.
Talked about it a number of times. It doesn't seem to work when people try it. And correct me if I'm wrong, but your assessment in the past has been, well, if they could figure out how to do it and crack the code, then it would be great. They just haven't figured out how to crack that code yet. Is that right?
I think it's a fair assessment, yeah.
Okay. So in New York, new mayor, Zohran Mamdani, he made a campaign promise. He said, listen, we're going to make everything affordable and we're going to freeze rents and do a bunch of stuff that's going to make your life a lot cheaper. That has not happened yet, but obviously he's new to the office. 100 days. Yeah, you can't just stop that stuff. He has now said that one of his campaign promises that he's now trying to deliver on is city-run grocery stores, and he has got a budget of $70 million. He says he's going to put in 5 stores by the end of his first term.
Yeah.
Which would end in 2029.
Yep, he's got one planning already to open, and his second one opening this year he's talking about.
That's right. So I want to play you a little bit of his pitch for this, and then we can talk a little bit about whether or not this idea is going to work. This is Mamdani talking about this new grocery store.
We are building a brand new store on city-owned land currently sitting empty in East Harlem.
Side note, does he have kids? Do you know if he has kids? Does Mom Donnie have kids?
I
just imagining
think
him
he does.
reading at this
I think he
decibel level,
does.
bedtime
The
stories
cat
at night.
in the hat! Yeah.
He's intense.
Good night, Moon!
I don't like his ideas, but I understand why he drew attention. He got a lot of attention. He's very good at videos. He's got a great team of people behind him.
Well, he does, but he connects with people on a one-on-one level. His videos on the subway where he was interviewing and talking to the real New Yorkers about their concerns.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the kind of retail politics that's always worked.
Yes. Yeah. He's a socialist, right? He says he's a socialist Democrat. He bills himself as a socialist.
Yeah.
So he wants government to run things. He thinks that's the best way forward. He thinks that's the most affordable thing for people. Here's a little more of his grocery store pitch.
A neighborhood where nearly 40% of households receive public assistance or SNAP in the past year.
So he's building this supermarket in this neighborhood, which I believe is in
East Harlem.
East Harlem.
Yeah.
Okay. And how's it going so far, Spike? From your assessment of this, how do you think it's going so far? This first store is going in.
I saw they spent $30 million in this particular store of a $70 million budget for
seems
5.
a lot.
It does, but I don't know that that's going to be the standard cost. It's hard to say. But
if it is, then he's only
then
going to be able to build
make
2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a city property that the city already owns. You're talking about giving people who are already having a hard time making ends meet on federal assistance, on state assistance, giving them a more affordable grocery product by subsidizing these grocers with regard to taxes and no rent.
Yeah.
So that they can then pass with the guarantee that they'll pass those savings along to the community. I think it makes sense because otherwise, if you're going to collect taxes and rent and then give that money right back to citizens who can't afford to eat, it kind of takes the business owner out of the loop there, if you will, the private enterprise grocers out of the loop there and takes away the middleman. If you're already paying people assistance so that they can eat, why not use some of that money that's going into the assistance you're already giving them?
Why not create another barrier?
No, it's turning. I think I see it as taking a barrier away.
Why?
Because you're creating an environment where they can shop for less money.
But they've already got an environment like that in grocery stores. You're already giving free money. This is people who are on assistance already.
Yeah.
So why not just let them spend money at local grocers?
Because it's not making ends meet. Because he understands that grocery prices have gone up exponentially in the last year and beyond.
So the prices at this new grocery store are going to be nothing.
They're going to be cheaper because the cost of a business owner factors in rent and taxes and all the things that they then roll into the cost of the groceries they're selling to the community.
We've talked about this before, but what is the takeaway? What's the net takeaway for a grocery store?
It's a very thin margin business, right?
Yeah.
Is that what you're asking?
Yeah,
very thin margin.
1 to 3% after all your expenses. So your gross somewhere between I looked into this, somewhere between 20 and 25%. After you actually pay the people who work for you, buy the product that you're selling, things like that. It's 1 to 3%. It's a very, very tough business to be successful in. And those businesses are motivated. My worry for a store like this is those businesses that are making it at 1 to 3% are motivated to have the best business in the area because they want people to come and shop there, right? Isn't that what gets people in the door?
Sure. Yeah, you bet. Competitive pricing.
So how is it possible? And experience. I mean, all of it is wrapped up. I mean, when I go into I'll tell you, when I go into a PCC, I know I'm going to pay a little bit more, but I know that my experience is going to be a high-end experience. Right?
Yeah, that's fair.
Versus going into a Safeway or something like that.
Well, not to name names, but, grocery outlet is a bargain basement, grocery
outlet.
Yeah, and you get what you pay for it with regard to customer service. And
some places they ask you to bag your own groceries, things like that. How is the government able to compete with these grocery stores for quality and service? What's their motivation to do that?
Well, they have to find the right vendor. One of the things Mamdani is saying is he's got to find the right grocer with the right experience and the right track record for doing this. And then if they will do this with elimination of rents and taxes, they run the same business they've been running. The city gives them the break.
Just without profit.
The city gives them the break on some of the expenses of doing business.
Sure.
They can still maintain that same profit margin. And since there's no rent or taxes, they can pass the savings on to the customer for lower grocery prices.
Let me ask you this question. Won't that grocery store be motivated to be cutting corners as much as crazy possible?
Why?
To get as many people in the door to buy their low prices. They're going to be competing. They're going to be competing against other local grocers, right?
They're not going to have to compete with other grocers because they're going to have.
Well, they have to. The neighborhood he's putting this in has 6 other grocery store locations nearby.
So if they've got cheaper grocers, isn't that all the competition you need?
Well, products are important too. If you go in and you want to buy a banana from someplace, but the banana's been spoiled for 2 weeks, then that's not a very good banana.
That's why I was talking about finding the right partner, the right experienced grocer partner who can do this without the additional expenses that they can pass the savings along to the consumer.
Do you think he's concerned at all that this doesn't tend to work anywhere else it's tried?
There are examples where it has worked. They're rarer than the examples where it hasn't worked. I think maybe we learn from our mistakes. You find out where it hasn't worked and why it hasn't worked, whether it's a retailer cutting corners.
Well, the profit motivation, that's what makes something work. Have you ever run a business?
No.
Didn't you have a coffee cart or something like that?
Oh, I had a coffee cart, and my parents owned a small business when I was growing up, so I'm familiar, yeah.
Your dad owned car dealerships.
Well, we owned the neighborhood tavern. You're talking about thin margins.
Did you own car? He owned car dealerships too, right?
He managed 7 dealerships. He managed 7 dealerships. Yeah.
All right.
I understand.
If the government stepped in, so you understand the business side of these things.
Sure.
Is your dad motivated by profit to provide the best service possible at the bar and also at the local car dealership?
Sure, yeah. You got to be competitive with your competition, of course.
So let me ask you this question. Is it fair? And he had to pay taxes on every car he sold? He had to pay taxes on every person who came into the bar?
You bet.
And that tax then went to local government?
Yeah.
If that local government then steps in and says, hey, we're going to set, it's drastically unfair that cars are so expensive these days. We want to make sure that it's cheaper for people. In fact, we can make it a lot cheaper by just making sure that these people don't have to pay for things like rent. They don't have to pay for any of these startup costs. What if we just put another car dealership right next to yours? Aren't you going to be now feeding off of their business?
I don't follow the.
Aren't you going to be cannibalizing the business owner, who's a private business owner, for the government business owner?
Probably so. Yeah. Some of those.
Is that going to be better for the community that now you're taking away options? Is that private business owner have a legitimate gripe that the taxes that they're paying are actually working to upend their business?
It will. Yeah. He's got a legitimate gripe.
So how is that situation going to work?
Because where it has worked, where federally or government-funded subsidized grocery stores has worked, there's an initial loss of business to other businesses, but eventually people level out and they stay in business or they don't. That's a free market deciding.
But that's not a free market. It's not a free market.
Let me finish my sentence.
No, but you just said something that's not true. That's not a free market. That's a government market. That's not free.
I was in the middle of a sentence.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It's okay. Free market, but you're talking about government intervention and coming in with an free market, government-assisted grocery store that's going to hurt other grocers. I understand that. But we're not talking about cars. We're not talking about drinks. We're talking about food.
We're talking about grocery stores.
We're talking about nutrition. We're talking about people's need to eat and sustain their families. So if you're talking about where does government's tax dollars go, then I think it should go into helping people afford food.
By shutting down private industry grocery stores, which will happen.
They won't all go. But if they won't all go away, if you replace them all with more affordable groceries, good.
But that doesn't ever happen. That's never happened. That's never happened anywhere. Show me where that's happened.
There are examples where Minneapolis, Minnesota. There's one mentioned in the story here where it's working because they found the right partners.
And how much money are they investing in that?
I have no idea.
So that's tax dollars going towards something that people were doing voluntarily. It's an incredible amount of money to invest into these grocery stores. I mean, the startup costs are unbelievable.
The $70 million is an incredible amount of money to invest in affordable groceries for a city like New York?
Yes.
Do you know how much the city spends?
Do you know how much it costs to open one grocery store on average? For a big grocery store, they say the max would be $10 million. Usually it's about $1 million. I have a breakdown of all the different costs that would be associated with a regular grocery store.
Yeah, but you're talking about market of scale at that point, too. Because when you're talking about a regular grocery store with a big chain,
do you want to I can do a small independent. What size do you want?
Well, what's your point? Doesn't matter.
My point is, if they're spending $30 million on opening this grocery store, what are the odds that they're going to be able to run this business successfully? If that's the crazy inflated cost, wouldn't it just be better? I mean, if it's just about spending money to make food cheaper for people, just give them more money. Take that $30 million and give people more money and let them have more money to spend at these other businesses. I don't even think that's a good idea. I'm not advocating that. I'm saying worst of the scenarios, it's better than setting up a government-run grocery store that then cannibalizes all the other options in that neighborhood, which then kills business, which then just kills jobs. I mean, isn't that worse than people not being able to buy a banana for a little bit cheaper?
No.
You think it's better to buy a banana for a little bit cheaper, but shut down?
I think it's better that families can feed their families.
Let me ask you this.
Because they have affordable grocery options that are government subsidized.
The food is already government subsidized, right? They were buying it with government money,
and they'll be buying more of it with the same government money. They'll be getting their dollar will be going further.
You read the same story I did in the New York Post.
Yeah.
Did you see all the examples they gave of the different places that have tried this and failed dramatically?
Sure. Yeah.
Why don't those inform your opinion on this? I'm just questioning why you're grabbing onto the one instance that they say in Minneapolis where they're still spending money on this, and it hasn't even worked out yet. It just hasn't failed quickly enough. It will fail. No, that's what will happen. If you look at history, every other time this has tried anywhere, it doesn't work for a long term.
According to the New York Post, which is hardly an unbiased reporter on this story.
Sure.
Hardly.
Okay.
Fair enough? I mean, they can list, they call it socialism never works, blah, 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 all the different examples of where it fails. Well,
you and I have talked about this many times, and the conversation's always like, well, they just need to figure out how to crack it.
Yeah.
But
if something has failed repeatedly,
yeah,
you're saying there's no way to make it work?
No, I'm saying the motivation.
That's what you're saying.
I'm saying the motivation to make it work is not government mandated.
Sure,
You've used the light bulb before, right?
Yeah.
Thomas Edison. Why did he invent the light bulb? 2,000 different ways he failed, and then he found one. Why?
Right.
Because he wanted to make money. The government didn't tell him to do it. He said, hey, you know what? I'm going to bust my brains out to try to figure out how to do this, crack this code, and then I'm going to make a ton of money.
Sure.
And he did. Wright brothers, same thing.
But it's not all. Capitalism isn't the only function of our society. Government is also a function of our society where taxpayer dollars are used for the greater good of the greater amount of people.
Where are those tax dollars collected?
What do you mean? Where are they collected?
Where do they get the tax dollars? The government doesn't just come up with the money. The citizenry pays the tax dollars based on sales of items and things like that, right?
And you would want your tax dollars to go to an area that's going to help the citizenry more.
But they are cannibalizing the very businesses which will fund their own downfall, which is my problem with it. It makes no sense.
I think it makes I think it makes great sense. We can see things differently, and I respect that.
I understand that you think it makes sense. It doesn't work, though, and the problem is that they're going to kill all these local businesses. You have local grocery chains locally there in New York who are saying, guys, this is going to kill my business. Why would somebody come in and buy a banana from me when you can get a subsidized banana next door? And then my business goes away. The people that I hire in the local community, those jobs are lost. And then more people are now on the dole, and they're going to have to take money from the government to buy the government banana. Isn't that what happens?
No.
That's not what happens. Everybody's super. You're
assuming 5 government grocery stores in the city of New York is going to put every other grocery store out of business.
He's not going to get 5 because he spent 30. He spent.
You think
5 times the amount of opening the first one?
One's going to put every grocery out of business. You think one is? People aren't going to come great distances. They're not going to. They're going to stop shopping at every other grocer because they've got a more affordable option. They're still going to shop at these other grocers. They're not going to drive everybody else out of business.
Why would they pay more if you say if it's what you're saying, they're going to get the same exact product for cheaper?
They're putting these 5 in strategic places where there is no option.
That's not true. That's not true. The very first one he's doing with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 within 7 blocks. That's even in the story that you read. Mm-hmm. He said the first one is not in the food desert. The first one is surrounded by grocery stores.
Mm-hmm. That people can't afford to shop at.
Why would he choose that? The people can't afford to shop there. That's what you're saying?
The people can't make their food dollars go far enough.
Okay, so now what's going to happen to all those grocery stores?
You think all 7 of them are going to go out of business?
No, if one goes down, is that okay?
Yeah.
To feed the government.
If a community can have affordable groceries in one business, yeah. I don't know. The market will figure out a way that this will settle itself out.
But the market's not figuring this out. The government is forcing their hand. The free market would figure this out.
No, the free market would starve people.
That's not true.
And drive all the profit to capitalism.
That's not true.
Sure it is.
Profit is a wonderful thing. It motivates everything. Your life is made so much better because of capitalism.
It's not the only thing that determines the quality of my life. Quality schools can do with capitalism, but it affects the quality of my life.
When you had and you sent your kids to private schools?
No.
You didn't?
Both. Private and public. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
When you had your coffee cart, if the government had opened up, did you invest in the coffee cart yourself?
Sure.
You spent money on that out of your own pocket?
No, it was a volunteer job.
Okay.
I was working for a community organization.
If the local government stepped in and said, hey, but this was at a pool, right? It wasn't through the city or something.
Yeah.
The city said, hey, we recognize your coffee's very expensive. We'd like to make sure that people have a cheaper option. We're going to put the cart right next to you. Would that upset you guys?
No, great. Cheaper coffee for them.
What happens to your coffee?
I got other things to do.
Okay, so yours shuts down. You're just fine with that.
Grocery finds something else to do too. He's a businessman.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, screw them. Right? They're just investing all this money to start up this company.
Let all these New Yorkers go. Let all these go hungry. Let kids not have enough nutrition to have their brains work and get a good education.
Let's see how it's going. Let's see how Fox says it's going. Let's play this.
Well, if Fox
this
is another
first store is going to cost $30 million. That's nearly half of the $70 million budget that Mayor Mamdani has proposed for all 5 city-run grocery stores. He announced this first one last night at his 101st day celebration. The store is going to be located in East Harlem in La Marqueta, and the plan is for it to be open next year.
All right, we'll see how it goes. It's a lot of money to open up a store.
And if it goes well.
If it goes well, then I will buy you lunch.
Great.
And I will come back on here and tell you how much
and if
you
it
were
fails like so many others have, I will also concede.
Okay.
You were right. Yeah.
Will you buy me lunch?
Sure.
All right. I'm going to start looking at menus. You guys can let us know how you feel about it on the Muckleshoot Casino Resort text line, 888-973-5476. We got a lot more coming up. Stick around.
This hour is brought to you by Insulation Northwest.
The John Curley Show.
If by like the 15th of October rolls around and suddenly it's a bolt of lightning and I croak out right there, I'm fine.
Weekdays 3 to 7.
My dream of growing a giant pumpkin is just a couple of months away. I know somebody who knows somebody who knows a guy who knows a guy who knows someone who got me the seed, the 1,500-pounder, baby. It's in a secret location. I don't want to say where it is.
Watch The John Curley Show live on YouTube.
On top of home and auto, Progressive protects your boat, RV, and motorcycle so you can explore the unknown.
Actually, we just take the RV to the same campground every year.
Well, maybe you can catch your own dinner on your boat.
Oh, we can actually get pizza delivered there from this brick oven place we love.
Will you at least try a new topping?
Honestly, probably not. We kind of have a go-to order.
Fine. Just bundle home or auto insurance with your outdoor vehicles with Progressive and stay protected when you go, I guess, where you've gone before. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states or situations.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit info kit. 800-290-7100. That's 800-290-7100.
Thanks for calling CM Heating.
Aren't you the company that gives away free furnaces?
That's us. Buy a qualifying high-efficiency cooling system and the furnace is free.
Wow.
Yeah, and our home comfort advisors are tax credit and rebate specialists, so they'll handle the rebate for you.
Go to CM Heating for better comfort, lower bills, and a free furnace you'll love for years. Get your free estimate for furnace replacement at cmheating.com. And remember, for furnaces, fireplaces, hot water, and total home comfort, including electrical, there's no beating CM Heating.
If you don't care about saving 50% off your wireless bill for the same 5G coverage the big guys are charging a fortune for, maybe you care about keeping jobs in America. Pure Talk does. They've pledged to run their entire operation from this country, including all their customer service. Or maybe you care about our nation's veterans. Pure Talk does. They've donated hundreds of thousands of dollars to America's Warrior Partnership, a fantastic organization working hard to prevent veteran suicide. Or maybe you care about closing America's skills gap. Pure Talk does. They're a proud supporter of MicroWorks. They're helping my foundation train the next generation of skilled workers. Don't get me wrong. Saving money's great, and you'll save plenty with Pure Talk. But if you want to be in business with people who share your values, dial pound 250. Say micro, and switch to an American wireless company that actually stands for something. Pure Talk.
Free consultations, no fee guarantees, 5-star reviews. JP Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains the importance of going beyond these familiar offerings.
Accident victims want an attorney, Tom, that satisfies their needs. Someone who handles those needs with the highest degree of care. Pendergast Law offers the no-fee guarantees and free consultations, but these only scratch the surface.
Okay, explain more.
We make sure that every member of our team is genuinely passionate about helping others. Customer service and communication are our top priority. It's how we take care of our clients so they always feel one step ahead of the insurance companies. Our strong reputation for high standards provides comfort and confidence when it's needed most.
Pendergast Law offers the free consultations, the no-fee guarantees, and of course, they are 5-star rated. But what really makes them different is their genuine passion for helping others. I can't recommend them enough.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
That's PendergastLaw.com.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
The team that gave me back my full head of hair, Advanced Hair, is once again the winner of the 425 Business of the Year. Dr. Perungo and his world-class team begin regrowing your own natural hair the very next day. And Advanced Hair guarantees your new hair will grow, just like they did for me. Find out why Advanced Hair is the best of the best. With your free consultation, you'll receive $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
Hey, how's your money situation? Are you ready for retirement? Well, if you want to know what the pros are doing to make wealth multiply and retire like royalty, then you need to listen to this show, Sound Path Through Retirement, with Ben Koval and Matt Leibarger. Get your money right and tune in every weekend, Saturdays at 10 a.m. and noon on KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM.
Home Comfort Alliance, a Carrier factory authorized dealer delivering efficiency, reliability, and quiet performance every time. John Curley here. Upgrade to Carrier cooling and get a heating system free. Use their 60-second price estimator at homecomfortalliance.com.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon, I'm Aaron Granillo. The U.S. blockade of Iran's ports now in its second day as Washington pressures Tehran to give up control of the Strait of Hormuz. Iran is threatening retaliation, warning Gulf ports could be targeted if that blockade continues. Republican Senate Leader John Thune.
This is the sort of the last dying gasp of this regime, is to try and shut down the strait, and the administration is making an effort to ensure that it's open, that there can be traffic in and out of there, and hopefully that'll be successful and we can begin to see this thing wind down.
In the meantime, Pakistan is pushing for a second round of U.S.-Iran peace talks after negotiations failed to reach a deal over the weekend. Separately, Israeli and Lebanese officials met in the nation's capital today for their first direct talks in more than 30 years. For the closing bell reports, Boeing's first quarter deliveries are up, the highest number since the pandemic. KIRO 7 TV's Lindsay Sheldon has those numbers.
Boeing delivered 143 jets in the first 3 months of the year. For the commercial airplanes programs, they announced today that they delivered 114 737s. The company did say it needs to repair damaged wiring in about 25 of its 737 MAX jets.
And shares of Boeing jumped on the news. The company set to deliver its quarterly earnings report next week. Quantum computing company says it'll add up to 2,000 jobs over the next 5 years as part of a significant expansion into Bothell. The company IonQ says it'll hire an initial 100 engineers over the next year and a half.
What these companies realize is we've got that embedded base of employees that know this culture.
That is Ray Stephenson. He's president of the Economic Alliance Snohomish County. Says the governor's office just invested $500,000 to support the expansion. And a classic Seattle area burger chain is expanding north. Burger Master has filed permits for a new drive-in restaurant in Marysville, right off I-5 at 88th Street. The new Burger Master is set to open next year. Solid gains today on Wall Street. The Dow up 317. NASDAQ just logged its longest win streak since 2021. It was up 455 points, almost 2%. And S&P gained 81 points. Now to the real-time traffic desk. Here's Nate Connors.
Thanks, Aaron. Well, wet roads across the region, so be sure to watch for standing water this afternoon and give yourself a little extra room between that car ahead of you. Kitsap County through Chico, we're all clear. Southbound 3 at Chico Way from an earlier car fire. We still have a backup, though, through Silverdale. You'll clear by the time you reach Newberry Hill Road. And then some of that earlier backup is now further south towards Sinclair Inlet. North 5 through Seattle, scattered backups prior to the West Seattle Bridge across the Ship Canal Bridge. 25 minutes now to get through downtown. South 5, you're crowded coming out of Northgate in the downtown. 20 minutes from Linwood to Seattle. Eastbound on the West Seattle Bridge, still dealing with a collision at State Route 99. Just a brief backup at the scene here. And at Puyallup, we've still got this issue westbound 512. Right before Meridian, it's a stall in your left lane, and you're sitting in a bumper-to-bumper backup onto southbound 167. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
To be wet and windy today. Some strong gusts along the coast as well, and a winter storm warning in effect for the mountains About 1.5 feet of new snow expected at higher elevations through 11 o'clock tomorrow night. Right now, looking at a soggy afternoon, temperatures in the upper 40s. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
All right, welcome back to the show. We're going to play some audio for you of, this is a crazy story. There was a couple in Canada, and the husband posted this video of basically just describing the fight that they were going through, trying to advocate on behalf of his wife, who, while in Canada, got a very bad cancer diagnosis.
Right.
And did not like what the Canadian healthcare system said that her options were. And so he said, forget that. I want to figure out how to save my wife's life. And so had to bring her to America.
You had to bring her to the States.
Yes.
Yeah.
I want to play you a little bit of this, and then we can kind of react to it.
Sure.
And but this video has gone viral, and you can hear the passion in this guy's voice as this husband is describing what happened. Listen to this.
It's been 2.5 years since my wife first fled Canada to save her life in the United States from stage 4 ovarian cancer after the Canadian healthcare system left her to die, where her only option would have been to kill herself on MAID because they had no treatment for her. They lied to her and said that the HIPEC surgery wouldn't ever save her life, but it did. They lost her chemo requisition, so she never got started on that. She didn't even meet her Canadian oncologist. It was always by a phone. Well, he was the guy that lost her chemo requisition too. And every time she went to the hospital begging for help in the ER because her lungs were filling in with fluid and she was drowning in them, they kicked her out and sent her home with opioids because they didn't have anybody there to drain her lungs. So now she's getting closer to death, and in a wheelchair, in a last-minute decision, she decides to try her luck in the United States. So now we're evacuating her from Vancouver Island on BC ferries to get her into a hospital in Seattle, where they immediately got her into the system, got her started on chemo, and gave her that life-saving HIPEC surgery.
Amazing. Amazing. So that was, and he'll continue here. We'll play more of this. But for anybody who doesn't know what their MAID system is, the definition of the MAID system is the medical assistance in dying. So that's where
assisted
Canada
suicide.
helps you assisted suicide.
And we're talking about, this is the guy who found himself in the clutches of the Canadian healthcare system, which we all hear about how bad the U.S. system is, how it's a for-profit system that bankrupts people, and all those things are true. We're the only country in the world where you can go bankrupt from medical bills. And we hear about
you also have the place that if you're going to get sick,
yeah,
you want
this
to come
is where
here.
you want to be. And,
yeah. We have the
Canada,
best medical care in the world.
You hear all this boasting and bragging about how great Canada's free socialized medicine is. The problem is, if you've got regular maintenance care and you want to see a checkup, blah, 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 those things are fine. But when you've got a situation where you need the world's greatest treatment to perform a medical miracle.
If you don't want somebody to tell you, hey, you know what? We actually have an option where you can just.
Yeah, we ran the numbers in Canada. And in our system, it's not cost effective for us to give you this expensive treatment, which has a low probability of success. It's these, remember the death panels? Mm-hmm. The claim that was made back in the 16 election cycle, I think it was.
Palin.
Yeah, there'll be death penalty to decide who lives and who dies. It's that kind of nightmare that was.
Remember, people were saying, "Oh, she's crazy for saying that."
Well, because you don't have that in the United States, you really don't. But in Canada,
they're trying to say
you
that it would exist if that happened here, if they had publicly funded
healthcare.
Here.
Yeah, well,
and then in Canada, where they have this public. Now, Canada's publicly funded, privately delivered, so they find a person who can deliver, but it's publicly funded.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't we just have a conversation about just such a situation?
We're not
grocery
stores. We're not talking about bananas.
All right.
But here also,
let me play this guy's audio.
Please go. Yeah.
Well, during this time, I'm stuck in Canada because I'm not American and I can't just come here for no reason like that. I can't live here. So my wife decides to come back to Canada to be with her family. And during that time, she has another medical emergency and finds herself again in a Canadian hospital, rotting and dying and nearly about to go septic. So again, I have to unplug her from the machines and evacuate her by car and ferry back to the Seattle hospital. And she's sick as a dog, puking bile this whole time. They get her into the hospital, and guess what? She is about to go septic, and they give her immediate surgery and save her life. Again. But she comes back to Canada. And guess what? The cancer's coming back now. And so again, she has to leave. Over and over, this pattern continued until finally we decided enough is enough. and we got me a green card. We had to get the help of a Congress lady who rushed the entire process, start to finish, and I got a green card in less than 3 months. That's probably the fastest anybody's ever gotten a green card. Honestly. So here we are in Texas, and my wife continues to do really well getting state-of-the-art treatment. There's no maid here. Nobody talks about death. And in fact, last week, my wife was doing so well on chemo. Well, she's had already 2 recurrences, and she's going into a third remission. She's back squatting 175 pounds for 5 in the gym just last week. Does that sound like somebody who's ready to die, Canada? Does that sound like somebody who needs to kill themselves with MAID? I am so grateful to be here in the United States. I am so grateful especially to be here in Texas. I love Texas.
Yeah.
There's state-of-the-art healthcare. There's no waiting. There's no death cult here. Just good care. I'm so grateful to the United States. Thank you for my green card. Thank you for having me here where I can take care of my wife.
Isn't that nice to hear? I mean, what was it? Did he say it was 23 months? Is that what he said? 23 months? She's
in remission. Since her initial diagnosis.
Since her initial, yeah. And the pictures of this woman, the before and after, are just unbelievable. And to think of God bless these people. The total devastation of getting that diagnosis. You get stage 4 anything cancer, and you are having a serious conversation. It is a life-changing moment. And to think about being in a country where their response to that is not, you know what, we're going to do everything humanly possible to give you the best chance at life. They crunch the numbers and they just say, you know what, according to the actuarials and all the books, you're not really worth the investment. We think it'd be a better thing for you to just go ahead and end things. I mean, can you imagine? You're taking a dark moment and you're saying that is a hellish moment.
Sure. Yeah. I'm going to assume, you know me, I'm an optimist. I'm going to assume that's not the standard. That's not the norm in Canadian medicine. I mean, we've got an example that's horrific.
I see a lot of stories about this MAID program in Canada that scares the heck out of me.
Well, that's the MAID program is a whole different topic, and I'm with you there.
Yeah.
But, you know, I'm assuming that not everybody in Canada has an equally horrible story where we decide not to treat you because it's not financially viable and it's got a low probability of success. This was a horrible situation where the guy was able to take advantage of care in America. Mm-hmm. And also he got his green card in 3 months.
It's amazing.
It is amazing. And so it's
good for him.
It's good for him. It's just not. Here's my problem with this, and I'm going to sound horrible.
I don't have any problem with this. This is great. This is great news for this guy.
If it was everybody that came to America for medical reasons and got the same treatment, that'd be great. But that's not the case.
Well, he did it the right way. He applied for things. He talked to a congressperson. He got it pushed through.
3 months is special treatment. Special treatment, and based on his wife's medical condition, I'm sure.
Yep.
Right. But there's people who come to this country who.
And is his wife? Did he say his wife was American?
I'm not. It must be the case.
It must be the case
because he couldn't be here with her.
Be here with
right.
her. Yeah.
So she came back. That's another element of it.
There you go.
She's an American citizen.
Does that help your case here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I'm all for giving the care that's needed.
Yeah.
But there are people. You know, I hear stories day in and day out about how we don't want our medical care going to folks who don't deserve it. She deserved it. She was an American citizen with dual citizenship, it sounds like.
What's the average wait time in Canada for medical care?
Couldn't tell you.
This is crazy.
Is months? It depends on what it is, right?
28
months?
6 weeks.
26 weeks. Oh, okay, yeah. 6 months. Hey.
I heard a story once. Lady injured her leg, and it was a bad injury.
In Canada?
In Canada.
Mm-hmm.
She had to go. I'm going to look this up. I feel bad even saying it if it's not actually 100% true. But she had to wait so long that they couldn't save the leg.
Imagine those are true stories. Sure.
Oh, horrifying.
That's the cost of not having any cost. You can either spend money or you can spend time, and sometimes when you don't have time.
Thank you. I'll happily get the bill.
There you go.
And keep my life.
Yeah.
Or my leg. I'll keep my life for my leg and have a higher hospital bill. Thank you very much.
Here's I hope we come to an agreement on.
Yeah.
While we have the best care in the world, we do need a better system of delivering it to people.
Yeah, it should be cheaper.
Yeah, exactly.
I think we should have cheaper healthcare.
That's what we're all talking about.
Yes, absolutely.
Amen.
Yeah.
But I'm glad she's.
But I guarantee you, run by the government, not going to be better. Not going to be better. Do you think it would be better?
I haven't seen any instances where it has been.
Okay. There we go.
Much like grocery stores.
Apply that to
That's
grocery stores.
for you there, buddy.
And I'm out. We'll be right back. Stick around.
Hi, I'm Charlie Harder.
And I'm Amanda Factor.
Is there a chance of a deal this week?
We will have the latest on the war with Iran.
Another legal loss for President Trump.
Former Attorney General Rob McKenna has thoughts on a judge tossing the suit against the Wall Street Journal.
And some potential for some active weather tomorrow. We'll have your forecast and Sully with traffic every 10 minutes on the 3.
Join us tomorrow 5 to 9 on Seattle's Morning News.
We're on YouTube, our app, your smart speaker, and 97.3 FM.
Folks, I don't have to tell you that when it's raining, you want to be able to trust your roof. And who you can trust is Integrity Roofing and Construction. These guys are incredible workmanship, incredible professionalism. I've used them at my home. They took better care of my home than I did. They offer free estimates. Of course, you want to protect your home. Visit integrityrc.com to schedule a free assessment or video inspection today. They got years of experience, 1,001 wonderful reviews. Check them out online. So the phone number is 206-202-ROOF to schedule your free estimate, or visit them online at integrityrc.com.
Deep to right field. Going, goodbye baseball.
At T-Mobile Park, you've always got the best seat in the house. But for a view that's a real home run, check out right field. Make that the dump yard. Sure, it's a great spot to see our fearless outfielders fly, dive, and slide.
Wow! Victor Robles makes the catch!
But you might get to flash some leather too, because the forecast in the dump yard always calls for rain. Raining big dumper home runs, that is.
Number 60, the magical tour of Cal Raleigh just continues.
Mariners baseball. Trident's up.
The Mariners kick off a 6-game homestand this Friday. Don't miss great giveaways like the King Dome Fanny Pack hat on Friday night versus the Rangers, thanks to Global Credit Union, and 3 straight Mariners value games against the A's. Monday, April 20th through Wednesday, April 22nd. Lock in your seats today at mariners.com.
The stock market was on fire in 2025 due to AI and tech stocks. Now is the time to set a strategy for 2026. It's a good opportunity to lock in those gains and invest into a stable platform. With $8 trillion in cash sitting on the sidelines, investors are either scared or unsure where to go. Hi, I'm Scott Rurecka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares the profits with our investors. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital. Invest into our Northwest Fund, which is currently delivering 9% on a fixed rate term. It's our flagship fund for 19 years with 0 investor losses. And yes, we do accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Legacy Group Capital at legacyg.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at legacyg.com.
Running a small business means juggling a lot. Your network has to handle it all. That's where a fiber-only provider falls short. You need a partner who gives you a greater advantage. Introducing the Total Solutions Advantage only from Comcast Business. A first-ever combination of the largest, fastest fiber-powered network, the most reliable Wi-Fi, gig speeds with equipment and security included, and a 5-year price lock. Plus, it's all backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee. The Total Solutions Advantage only from Comcast Business. A new standard for small business with reliability, security, and savings in one. Switch today. Get started with a great offer as low as $60 a month. When you add it all up, no one does business like Comcast Business.
Offer ends 6/1/26. New customers only. Requires 300 megabits per second internet and security edge. 1-year agreement, eco-bill, and autopay required. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA Fixed Broadband Experience Report, May 2025.
Hey, how's your money situation? Are you ready for retirement? Well, if you want to know what the pros are doing to make wealth multiply and retire like royalty, then you need to listen to this show, Sound Path Through Retirement, with Ben Koval and Matt Leibarger. Get your money right and tune in every weekend, Saturdays at 10 a.m. and noon on KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM.
Ever notice how everyone has their own idea of clean?
Yeah, your clean desk still has 3 coffee cups.
Yeah, but clean energy is simple. It means no carbon emissions.
And that's what nuclear energy delivers, while providing steady, reliable electricity.
Those big white clouds above a nuclear power plant? Just water vapor, like warm breath on a cold day.
Nuclear energy provides 10% of Washington's electricity, all without adding carbon to the air.
Learn more at energy-northwest.com.
Energy Northwest, powering our clean energy future.
File now with TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. They'll find every credit and deduction or your money back. File today the easy way in the Credit Karma app.
How does your roof look after this winter? Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. Spring into action today. Save $3,000 on a new roof, siding, deck, or windows. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com.
Home is more than a place to live. It's where the best of life unfolds, where possibility sparks, where community grows, where lives take shape. At the Master Builders Association of King and Snohomish Counties, that belief drives the work our builders, remodelers, and tradespeople do every day. Because when we build more homes, we're building so much more than housing. We're making room for what matters most. Learn more at roomforwhatmatters.com.
All right. Welcome back to the show. Spike and I have just been really having a lot of conversations in the last 30 minutes about socialism and all that fun stuff.
Sure.
Starting with the Mamdani grocery stores, which I have an update on for you. I'm going to read this to you in just a second, Spike. But
bananas are 2 for 1. I love socialism.
You got to get them fast, though,
yes.
because, boy, are they looking brown. We were talking before the break about that guy in Canada who had to rush to the United States to save his wife because Canada said, hey, based on your diagnosis, you have stage 4 ovarian cancer.
Right.
We don't think that there's anything we can do for you, so our suggestion is that you take advantage of our MAID program, which is their assisted suicide program.
Right.
That's the worst thing ever. It's a great advertisement against government-run social health care, which is what they have in Canada.
Couldn't agree more.
So he runs to America with his wife. Her life is then prolonged, and they're fighting it. It's been 23 months. She's got her hair back. She's lifting weights again. She looks great.
She looks amazing.
She looks amazing. I can only imagine that every single day doesn't feel like a miracle to them. And God bless them. And I hope they have many, many more happy years together.
Hear, hear.
But I do have to read you this thing real fast because I was saying, man, the healthcare in Canada seems kind of crazy to me. And I had thought that I remembered a story about a lady who needed to have something to do with her leg, and ended up because the time it took to get it taken care of, because the wait times in Canada are kind of crazy. She ended up having to lose the leg. But I didn't want to tell the whole story because I just
want to make
sure I had my facts straight.
Yeah.
So this did happen. This is back in 24. There was a lady from Manitoba, and she needed a knee surgery.
Okay.
And so she wanted to schedule a knee surgery. But in Canada, it took 6 years to get on the schedule. So
for like a knee replacement?
For a knee replacement.
Okay.
So
elective surgery.
She waits her 6 years for her surgery.
Yeah.
It's pretty bad. She's the breadwinner of the family, so she needs to make sure that she's able to get around. She goes in for the surgery. It doesn't go well. There's complications. She then has to come back in. They start making little cuts and changes and trying to do things. But they can't get her right back into they can't get her a bed because there's too much of a wait. So she waits 8 days in pain and agony. She just has this like festering infection. When they finally do have a bed for her, they look at it and they say, we're really sorry, but the infection is too far gone. We're going to have to amputate this leg. And she loses her leg.
Wow.
Gone. Then she tells the doctors, she says, hey, by the way, that other knee replacement surgery that you guys recommended I have that I've been waiting for 6 years, I think I'm going to pass.
You think?
Isn't that unreal?
That's horrible.
And it's a testament to, I understand the pie in the sky idea about getting people something for cheaper. But the reason that the capitalist system works better than any other system in the world, you go to any country that has any other system and you're getting legs chopped off, or they're telling you, hey, you know what you should do? You should commit suicide instead of getting the care that you actually could save your life. I know those are extreme examples, but they're not untrue. And I was just seeing this Mamdani grocery store thing. I just saw this post about this. I thought you'd be interested in this. He has come out to further clarify what his grocery stores will actually be offering, which I think is interesting. It's not all goods. It doesn't count for everything on the shelves. In fact, he says the only way that they can actually offer this cheaper product is it's going to be a core basket of goods. So a small group of select items that you can get for cheaper. Everything else will be the same price as everywhere else.
I have no problem with that, to be honest with you. I think, yeah, because you're talking about government-assisted nutritional assistance, right?
But
that's not Eggos. That's not
you're spending
Doritos.
You're spending an ungodly amount to do it. Like, what's the cost of it? That's what I'm saying. It's like,
that's why it's not going to put the other guys out of business. We're talking about a eat here so you don't starve store.
Well, if it's the basics, like when you go to your grocery store, I buy the same. Every time I go into Costco, I buy the same thing. The same exact thing. I'm getting my eggs. I'm getting my milk.
Eggs, milk, butter, snow tires.
Whatever's cheapest.
Yeah. I have 17 pair of snow tires now. Because I got to get them.
That's true. They will.
Too good of a deal.
You get 17 at once for your 17-wheeled vehicles.
No, it's 17 trips. 17 pairs.
Trips. But isn't that what you're basically getting? You're getting these core items, and isn't that what he's going to be offering?
Yeah.
And if that's where the grocery stores are making money, if their margins are already so razor thin, they're 1% to 3%.
Yeah, it's going to be tough to find a way to get through this and make it work. If it does work, I think it's going to be a wonderful investment of tax dollars into the well-being of the community.
Enthusiasm for things that don't work.
Well, I've been around the sun a few more times than you. You know,
that's true. You have.
That's why I don't get my health care in Canada.
There you go.
I want a few more trips around the sun.
100%. All right, we have a lot more coming up. When we come back, we got a couple of stories. Jason Rance is going to join us. He's going to talk about this.
You doing a concert review of Coachella?
He's going to do a concert. Did you see that?
Yeah, we got to make sure we get room for that.
We got to get to that, but tell just to give the audience a little.
Justin Bieber performed at Coachella, and apparently, or did he? Is the question?
Yeah,
because apparently Justin Bieber was at Coachella and played to a.
We could just do this.
YouTube of his greatest hits. He stood in front of a screen while YouTube played his greatest hits on the stage at Coachella.
And in attendance was Jared Goff
and his beautiful wife,
quarterback for the Lions,
for the Lions, who paid $68,000 for his ticket.
It seems like a lot.
You ever heard the term "a fool and his money are soon parted"?
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
It's hard for me to feel bad for the super rich.
Sure.
But if you're going to pay $68,000 to see, first off, to see Justin Bieber, shame on you.
I would love to see somebody sing for $68,000.
I think that's not asking too much.
I think it's required.
I think a live performance is not asking too much.
At a concert where the person is at, they should also be singing if you're paying that much.
I would think that's legal. Otherwise, Goff said, "How come I'm not home watching YouTube?"
Yeah,
with $68,000 in my pocket,
links.
Right?
Exactly. And he's famous. I'm sure he could come up with an invite to see Justin Bieber. Why is he paying so much money?
Pay him to play at his house.
All right, Jason Rance joins us next. Lots of stuff. We'll also talk about Swalwell. Stick around.
KIRO News Radio, the first place you turn for the news you trust.
ICE agents have now been deployed to 14 airports across the country.
Traffic.
Did they open lanes?
They just reopened all lanes of northbound I-5.
Engaging conversation.
If he ends this right now, it only emboldens Iran. That's a big, big mistake.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
A one-hander! JSN!
Always here, always with you. KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM.
I'm Bradley Johnson with 1-800-DUI-AWAY, and I want to talk to you about baseball. It's game day. The stadium roof is open. Our club's putting up a fight. They're cold brews in hand. But outside, the police are getting ready to spot fans trying to steal their home base. You're out! Maybe the night threw you a curveball. An officer made an error. Or perhaps the bases weren't the only thing loaded. At 1-800-DUI-AWAY, we know it's not 3 strikes, it's 1 strike. And you're facing the Grand Slammer. 1-800-DUI-AWAY is here to help, even if we have to go into overtime. So call 1-800-DUI-AWAY or go to 1-800-DUI-AWAY.com to set up your free private consultation. When you're on defense, it's full count, bottom of the 9th. You want your closing pitcher on the mound. 1-800-DUI-AWAY.
1-800-DUI-AWAY!
You can count on the Seattle Times for trusted local news and information. The Seattle Times is one of the few independent, locally owned news organizations in the country right here in the Pacific Northwest. Take a closer look with the Seattle Times. Dig into investigative journalism that holds those in power accountable. Discover a new perspective. Gain a deeper understanding. Learn something new about where we live. Subscribe today and don't miss a beat at seattletimes.com/subscribe.
This is Lynn.
she's always been active, maybe a little too active back in the day.
When I was 19 years old and immortal, I stripped out all my ligament and I had to have 6 knee surgeries, and that's on my right knee. And then my left knee finally gave out and had a torn meniscus.
Years of pain followed until she saw Dr. Mark Wagner at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine for stem cell therapy.
I'm 4 months out and I have no pain in my knees, and I have had knee pain my whole life. I have no concept of what it was like without pain. It's a miracle. I'm totally thrilled.
No pain, no limits.
Dr. Wagner gave me the green light to ski again this year. I'm like, that's incredible. So I'm just so excited.
After years of surgeries and setbacks, Lynn finally got her freedom back.
I think he saved my legs, so saved my knees, and gave me at least another 10, 15 years to do what I want to do.
If joint pain is holding you back, find out what stem cell therapy could do for you with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine. Schedule your consultation at drmarkwagnermd.com.
Hey, it's Jason Rance. I'm here with our local tax expert and advocate, Greg Nunn from None Better Tax Resolution. One thing the IRS has been working on is to modernize their infrastructure, the software that they use. And, you know, we look at that and say that's great for government efficiency, but in this case, that kind of efficiency means they're spotting people way faster.
They're able to do that, and they have to do that because they have fewer personnel. But look at your own work environment, how technology is replacing people, and you can get as much work done or more with the proper technology. And that's what the IRS's goal is that we need to use technology, especially AI, to make determinations on, okay, who should we go after? Who are we missing?
If you're having trouble with the IRS, then call Greg Nunn. None Better Tax Resolution. From stress to success with IRS Solutions. 425-947-1967 or Google NUNN. None Better Tax Resolution.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio. KIRO FM and HD1. Tacoma, Seattle. Northwest News.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper. Democrat Eric Swalwell has officially resigned from Congress. A portion of his letter read on the floor.
I plan to resign my seat in Congress effective at 2 p.m. Eastern Time on April 14th, 2026.
It comes as more women say he sexually assaulted them. CBS's Gwen Baumgardner has more.
Another Eric Swalwell accuser came forward Tuesday with stunning allegations dating back to 2018 in a West Hollywood hotel room.
I believe he drugged my drink, he raped me, and he choked me.
Lana Drew says her delay in coming forward was driven by fear, not doubt. Swalwell's fall has been swift and sudden, dropping his bid for governor and announcing he's leaving Congress, all within a 24-hour period following multiple prior allegations. Friday, he strongly denied any allegations of sexual assault.
Republican Tony Gonzalez's resignation from Congress begins at 11:59 tonight. He was accused of having an affair with a staffer who later died by suicide. The Trump administration has decided to renew some sanctions against Iranian oil that were temporarily suspended.
The administration had eased sanctions only through April 19th on Iranian crude oil and petroleum products that had been loaded onto ships before March 20th. Now the Treasury Department says those sanctions will resume. The Trump administration had initially paused the sanctions as a way to ease higher energy prices. Those prices had surged after Iran closed the Strait of Hormuz in response to the U.S.-led war. 1/5 of the world's oil and gas travels through that strait. Linda Kenyon, CBS News, the White House.
Productive talks in Washington between Israel and Lebanon lead to all sides agreeing to launch direct negotiations at a mutually agreed time and venue. Yakil Leiter is the Israeli ambassador to the U.S.
We talked about a number of things, and most importantly, the vision, the long-term vision, where there'll be a clearly delineated border between our countries.
Lawmakers are returning to Washington after a 2-week break in the midst of a lingering Department of Homeland Security shutdown. Senate Majority Leader John Thune on how long it might take for a reconciliation bill to be passed.
I'm hopeful that if we can show evidence and progress, and if we can get on this next week, which I think we can, on a budget resolution that would ensure that we are going to fund these agencies, that the House will be able to move the appropriations package.
Ex-Michigan coach Sharon Moore will not serve jail time after a confrontation with his executive assistant soon after he was fired for having an inappropriate relationship with her. The judge telling Moore,
I'm going to place the defendant on an 18-month probationary term, 18 months under the prosecutor deferred sentence.
Moore pleaded no contest in March to trespassing and malicious use of a telecom device. This is CBS News.
It's one of the most successful law and justice programs in television history that continues to uncover the truth. 48 Hours, Saturday on CBS and streaming on Paramount+.
Coming up, a new lawsuit stemming from December's historic floods. That's after Nate Connors at the real-time traffic desk.
Sounds good, Aaron. It is a soggy commute out there, and we've got a lot of accidents because of this, I'm assuming. Southbound 3 already packed in Bremerton from Kitsap Way to the water. This is as a big convoy that left Silverdale from an earlier collision up near Chico. So this is all just making its way south right now. In Sumner, eastbound 410 near Valley Avenue, road work has got you stacked up to the Valley Freeway, a little over a 1 mile backup here. We cleared our stall westbound 512 near Meridian and Puyallup, and that earlier backup is cleared out as well. JBLM, North 5 at the main gate, a collision just moved over to the right shoulder. In Renton, northbound 167 at 180th, we've got a new collision in your toll lane. If you're heading through Seattle, North 5, scattered backups on the West Seattle Bridge or the Ship Canal. Very typical now. 25 minutes to get through this. Eastbound on the West Seattle Bridge, we've got a jackknife semi blocking that bus lane right under the State Route 99 overpass. Just a brief backup here. And we have a high wind advisory at the Tacoma Narrows Bridge. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon, I'm Aaron Granillo. Dozens of homeowners along the White River are suing King County's flood control district. The case stems from December's historic floods. Story from KIRO 7 TV's Brandon Thompson.
The claim says the King County Flood Control District knew in 2024 the levees are, quote, aging and in need of replacement, and the district, quote, admitted that the levee systems for these rivers were inadequate and had serious safety issues. Lily and Jacqueline point out their property taxes go to the district to protect their homes. Now they're asking for the district to pay them back for the damage.
There is a percentage of the taxes that we pay that goes to this type of incidents. We haven't seen anything.
No comment yet from the flood control districts. Seattle police now trying to find who shot a 17-year-old boy early this morning. It happened near the Atlantic City boat ramp on Lake Washington near Rainier Beach High School. Police say the victim was in a car with two other boys, ages 13 and 17, when he was shot in the back. It happened just after 3 a.m. Detectives say no suspect has been identified. Seattle's police chief says he's consulting with federal agencies to help keep the city safe during the World Cup. His comments coming after the SPD announced yesterday it will not be using closed-circuit cameras to monitor crowds. More from KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey.
Chief Sean Barnes tells the G and Ursula Show officers are following a directive from Mayor Katie Wilson to keep the cameras off when monitoring the hundreds of thousands of World Cup fans from all over the globe expected on Seattle's streets, unless there's a credible threat.
I speak with the FBI almost weekly, looking at what threats we may have to the games. And so at the time that I think I need to make a case to the mayor on credible threats, I feel comfortable in doing so.
Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
The reservation system opened this morning for summer ferry travel. KIRO 7 TV's Renji Sinha reports you will be paying more.
This year, a 3% fee kicked in that applies to all card transactions. The Washington State Legislature approved the fees that covers the cost the state racks up when processing cards online and at terminals. That 3% increase started on March 1st.
Now, reserving your spot is free. The ticket purchase separate. Reservations cover sailings from Anacortes to the San Juan Islands and the Port Townsend Coupeville routes. Your weather update now. Wet and windy this afternoon and lots of mountain snow later on tonight. Winter storm warning in effect until 11 o'clock tomorrow night. Right now, 49 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
And now, it's time for the Jake and Spike Show on KIRO News Radio with your hosts, Jake Skorheim and Spike O'Neill.
Welcome back to the show. 2 hours down, 1 hour to go. Very happy to have you all here. Very happy to have Jason Rance from Seattle Red 770, the Jason Rance Show, joining us as well. Jason, welcome to the show.
Hello.
Jason, we got a couple stories we want to talk about. We're going to get into all the Eric Swalwell, Gonzalez stuff. Bunch of resignations.
You've never heard either of these happen? Was not following
getting
that
some
story.
coverage on the national news, but not a lot.
Yeah.
We'll get into that in just a minute. But first, we like to start locally here. So we're going to start with, you have a story that people can check out on SeattleRed.com about some new rules when it comes to how people interact with the court system and bail. What's happening and why should people be worried about
Well, it's happening quietly with the state Supreme Court. They're looking at a proposal that would dramatically change the rules around bail and warrants for individual defendants who don't show up for court hearings. Now, as it currently stands, you can allow for bail or a warrant for someone skipping out on a hearing.
A bench warrant.
If there's a likely risk of non-appearance, meaning we're looking at the totality of what's presented in front of us as a judge and says, this guy is likely to not show up to this next hearing. He's got a history of not showing up. I'm either not going to allow for any bail at all, or it would be a higher bail. The proposal changes that dramatically by raising the bar to, quote, high likelihood of willful flight to avoid prosecution. Now, I've spoken to 2 separate judges so far on the record who say, how in the heck are we going to be able to ascertain willful
How do you determine
flight to avoid prosecution?
Psychic ability, doesn't it?
It doesn't make any sense. And they're saying under this policy, if it were to change, essentially requiring proof of specific intent to not show up to a hearing, we would not be able to offer a warrant for anyone who skips out. And by the way, under the policy, you do get one chance to completely skip out without having any consequence of a warrant at all. On top of that, even if you would at some point actually qualify for bail to be posed on misdemeanor cases with 2 exceptions, DV and DUI, misdemeanor offenses would have a $200 bail cap on misdemeanors, which means only $20 to post bail, and you don't have to go through a bail bonds person, a bail bonds agent. You go through the court clerk.
So here's a question for you. Let's say somebody doesn't show up for court. They then have to go in and figure out, are they willfully not showing up for court?
Precisely.
How do they do that?
You can't. Unless the person is stupid enough to say, I willfully chose
You
not to
show up with a suitcase packed.
Well, yeah, or
and a plane ticket hanging out of your shirt pocket.
You present the judge with a bus ticket.
I can get out of that. No, I can seriously get out of that. All you have to do is say, I didn't know it was today.
Or you know what? I bought this for someone else.
No, you don't even have to go to that. You don't even have to lie about that. I bought it for myself. I didn't know I had a court hearing. Didn't you get the mail? I didn't get the
Never
summons.
saw it.
I don't know what you're talking about. Or I got confused. I thought today was Monday, and it turns out it's Tuesday. My bad. That's all you have to do. And by the way, you have to track that person down, assuming they want to be caught, then go through the process.
What's the desired outcome here? Is it
to release people without any kind of
They don't want to
bail?
see these people back in court.
Is that their stated intent? I mean, the people that are proposing this seem like a pretty reputable group.
They're not.
Department of Public Defense.
They're not a
Public Defense,
nope.
really? Defender Association?
These are far left public defense groups who have been pushing for the last several years and have been successful in some cases in doing everything that they can to get criminals off scot-free. Part of it is because that's what they're supposed to do, right? As public defenders, they are defending some of the worst of the worst.
Make sure the laws are applied evenly across the whole.
But this is not evenly applying the law. That's part of the issue here, right? And they lean on the same talking points that they always have, that this has a disproportionate impact on communities of color, poor people, etc.
It's true.
But it's not true when it comes to this kind of, especially in this state.
You're right. We're talking about this particular.
I'm talking this state.
This is lowering the bar through the floor and then through the basement. I mean, that's. I got a seatbelt ticket, right? For not stupidity, self-induced idiocy.
You got a court date?
I didn't.
I'm
not contesting. I'd get a court date, which I wouldn't have to show up for. Apparently, there was no warning for me on the seatbelt. This guy cannot show up to court and get a mulligan.
You didn't use your white privilege on that one.
You should have.
Tried.
Boy, you should
talk to a public defender.
Secret handshake and everything, man.
You know what? I
don't want to see that answer.
I can speak to. It looks like a salmon. Have you seen that one? The fish. Have you seen that?
No.
It's a funny one you can do.
Oh
to people.
my gosh! Yeah. I don't know, man.
Just look it up. I actually, when I was in college, I've told this story before, but this would have applied to me. I was in college. I got a traffic infraction for riding a moped that I thought was a moped, but was technically, because it was over a certain cc, and I lived in Hawaii at the time. It was technically a motorcycle, which means that I needed to have certain tags for it that I didn't have, because I thought it was just a moped, because I was a young dummy. And the penalty for that was that I had to show up in court and either pay my penalty or prove my case. And They send me the court date and all the summons and everything to my dorm system where I was at college, and it never got to me because it's not a super reliable mail system. So I missed my court date. So then I have a bench warrant out for my arrest for missing my court date. I then get a year later, I get pulled over for not wearing a seatbelt. I wasn't a complete ne'er-do-well, folks. I don't want you to think that I was on the wrong side of the law all this time.
I don't know. I've never had a bench warrant.
Well, that's true. Yeah, but I was pulled over for not having a seatbelt, just like you were, Spike, and they put me into the system and they said, "Hey, look at that. You have a bench warrant. We have to arrest you." And I said, "What?" But in this case, would I just be able to just say, now again, that's not a very serious crime, but whatever, it's a crime. Would I be able to just say, I didn't know I was supposed to be at court, so I'm good to go? I had to go to, they took me to jail, they processed me, they did all the stuff. I mean, this is like 20 years ago, changed my life. I could never watch any jail movie for the rest of my life.
I know, your Shawshank Redemption means something so completely different to you.
It's horrible, I can't do it.
I will make the case this way. Right now, as it stands, pushing aside this ridiculous proposal, you would not find a judge who would punish you for something like this.
Sure.
And the judges I've spoken to basically say the same thing. Like, we're obviously going to use judgment, which is in our title, when talking about these kinds of cases.
Yeah.
The problem that they have is that there are clearly people who are like repeat offenders who just simply do not show up.
Who will take
where
advantage
now
of
the
the
bar is
system.
so high, we can never, ever, ever punish that person. And they're already getting away with all of these crimes as a direct result of the bar being raised so high to punish.
Let me ask you this question. I proposed this idea maybe a week ago about judges, because there are judges out there that you could label as an activist judge, people who are releasing people constantly. They're giving no bail or very low bail, things like that. People who should be locked up because they're doing bad things, and they're not doing what they should. They're putting them back out in the community. The community isn't less safe as a result. Do you think there could ever be a system where, for instance, if you overserve somebody at a bar in our state, there are civil penalties. They can come after you. They can shut your bar down. They can go after you personally for overserving somebody if they then go out in the community and cause an accident because they're overserved. Could you do something similar with judges, do you think? Could you have a civil liability situation with judges?
No. I mean, I suppose you could, but there's zero chances of that actually becoming a reality. I mean, you've got a bunch of different competing issues here. Number one, the legislature would never do something like that because the judges are doing the bidding essentially of the state legislature. And of course, someone just has to question whether or not it's legal. And then the judge who would then be punished as a result of that would just say, no, I don't like
it's not legal.
Hard pass.
The other thing that I just saw, which was kind of neat, somebody put together a judge tracker. Did you see this? The judge
out
tracker?
of Florida.
Yeah. That's a neat idea. Listen, if there's nothing that can be done, and if the judges are not penalized and they're not being reprimanded for putting people out in the community who are a danger, then at least the public can know, hey, because it does add a pressure. If the judge, if the public is aware that the judges are doing these things, maybe they think twice before sending.
That is why on every single story in which a judge does something that is objectively the wrong decision, or I believe driven by politics, I'll name the judge at seattlered.com. We put the names out there. I want people to know these are people who are, in many cases, elected to these positions. They are public figures, and we should know this information.
Does that give attorneys the ability to judge shop? Can you, if you say you've got a judge tracker?
Well, that's automatically applied. You're automatically assigned. You could, I suppose, move for I don't know what the procedure is called, but move it to a different judge. You have to have a very specific reason. Not necessarily venue. You could go to a different judge, but these are generally automatically assigned. Where this would come into effect, I guess, if it's a really, really, really small town in which there's two judges and maybe.
I don't want Frank.
I
want Steve.
He dated my sister and she turned him out of prom. Mike, when Jake brought this up last week about judges being maybe civilly liable, my concern was that judges are going to err on the side of sternness for fear of someday being civilly liable. If I'm going to
be civilly liable there too.
To throw the book at a guy?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what throw the book at the guy means in the general context, because you do have.
And again, remember I said this is not for first-time offenders. This would be like for a repeat person who's constantly being turned back out into society, then doing bad things.
But I only push back on the throw the book at someone because the legislature sets the general schedules that someone would have to go to jail for. That is a legislative question
if a guy
/ answer.
Every time gives the max, gives the max, gives the max, gives the max, because he's
That's
afraid
lawful,
to be.
but that would be.
But is it just?
But could you also
judges
do
using judgment?
But you could do the least amount as well. I mean, you could make this under the same argument.
Yeah.
All they would have to do, just whatever the minimum sentence is, they would always do that.
Does this thing have? Is this going to happen? The Supreme Court.
So you have until April 30th to register your public comment on this. Just keep in mind those
They're
public
still
comments.
taking public comment on something?
I know.
For them to ignore.
But you have to send an email, and it is public, so just keep that in mind. And I always remind people to be civil in their emails.
Sure.
In calling this out. We have the email address and the links up at seattlered.com.
All right, let's move on to another potential legal case I'd like to discuss with you. Nationally, people are talking about Eric Swalwell, who in the last, can you think of anybody who's had a bigger downfall in the last couple of days than this guy has had?
Last couple of days? No.
Yeah.
He does win the week or lose the week, as the case
He
may
loses
be.
the week. So he first drops out of the California governor race, which is, that's getting down to the wire, and they were trying to clear the
3
decks
weeks.
so that you have a clear, they wanted a Democrat. They didn't want him to be the guy. And so they're going to get, is it Tom Steyer?
Tom Steyer appears to be the Democratic front runner.
It's him and Katie Porter, right?
I don't see a single poll that suggests
That she's
Katie
top two?
Porter has
Okay.
a chance, with the exception, we don't obviously know where the 11-ish% of Eric Swalwell supporters would go. In theory, if they all went to Katie Porter, which would be very ironic given her background of domestic violence accusations of, pushing scalding hot mashed potatoes on her ex-husband's head.
Yeah. Okay, so that is so Swalwell. That's Friday night. He drops out of his race for governor.
Saturday he dropped out or maybe it was Sunday he dropped out. The allegations came forward Friday. He was initially kind of pushing back and like, these are all
But
false.
there was rumor swirling for a while that this was going to come out, and then they finally did come out. Pretty damning testimony from some of these women that they've talked to. CBS has an interview with 3 women who
CNN had one. San Francisco Chronicle.
It feels
There's
like
another one today.
It feels like a real effort. I think that the guy's done. He's put a fork in him.
Yes.
He's done. But he has. But the question was, is he also now fit to keep his job in Congress? But he has now said, was this just last night?
He's out as 20 minutes ago.
Oh, was it officially?
Officially 2, or maybe it was 2
20
p.m.
minutes ago.
Eastern. But
he says,
he's out.
I'm deeply sorry to my family, staff, and constituents for mistakes and judgment I made in my past. I will fight serious false allegations made against me. However, I must take responsibility and ownership for the mistakes I did make.
Which mistakes?
Well, he's an adulterer, but he's not a criminal. That's
So
his.
is that what he's
that's his
saying?
argument here.
Well, 'cause he's not
He
being
apologized to
specific.
he's apologizing to his wife for horrible judgment.
He
and
said
being
that's
a
between us.
dirtbag.
That's not for voters. Yeah.
And we were talking about this yesterday. There's a difference between being, a
scumbag and
a scumbag and a criminal. Yeah, there are different levels of scumbag, and you can be a dirtbag that cheats on your wife and not be a criminal.
Well, the
not be an
Tony
assailant.
Gonzalez case is an example of this. He's not
that's a
accused of
horrible
any
one. Yeah.
criminal behavior, but obviously it's
adultery. Yeah,
disturbing.
Well,
and
that's not criminal.
immoral.
That's
let me ask.
bad behavior.
Maybe because she was a staff member.
Yeah, but that doesn't make it
that's-
criminal.
That's an ethics violation, not a
Which
legal
is not a
violation.
criminal,
Right,
yes.
gotcha.
Ethically, house rules are in play, and even if you didn't have house rules, just ethically, you don't sleep with subordinates.
That one is crazy, though. That ended the worst it could possibly, because she committed suicide.
Yeah.
Self-immolation.
She
lit
was a married
herself on
woman.
fire.
Yeah.
That's just one of those stories. It's great. And this guy, he has 6 kids, Gonzalez. He has 6 kids with his wife. I didn't like his statement. He's saying God has a plan for all of us, and it's just like, dude, just go away.
Go somewhere else.
Go somewhere
God's plan
else.
is not to answer your phone call, pal.
Yeah, what did he say? He says, there's a season for everything. God has a plan for us all. When Congress returns tomorrow, I will file my retirement from office. It's been my privilege to serve the great people of Texas. I believe God has a plan for everybody, but I think him saying it under these conditions is just
Attempted damage control.
pathetic
Yeah.
for him to do that. It's pathetic.
It's good that they're both gone. It
Good
really
that they're
is.
both
I mean,
gone. But what happens now with Swalwell? Does this listen to these women on CBS? Let me play you this clip real quick. This was CBS just yesterday, saying that listen, they're not going to let him going away stop what they want to happen.
Nor should it. Yeah.
To the Oval Office and getting a big surprise
Why
in
am I
return.
hearing audio here? All right.
White House contenders, do you know?
Wait. Sorry,
That's
folks.
not it.
That's not it. Here it is, right here. CBS. Talk to these women.
The fact that he has now dropped out of the governor's race and resigned from Congress Is that justice in your view?
No, it's just the beginning. It's just the very beginning. And I know personally that we're not walking away from this fight.
For me, justice won't be until he can't ever harm a woman ever again, and he has faced the consequences for the women that he has harmed.
I think in regards to the governor's race, he never should have ran for governor to begin with, knowing the kind of history and receipts that are out there. So that's a non-starter. And then in terms of Congress, I think he absolutely should have resigned. I think we just prevented another 30 to 40 years potentially of him harming people if he were to stay in Congress.
Yeah.
So in that sense, I think we have served justice for his future victims.
Wow.
That won't exist anymore.
What do you think of that?
I mean, they're right. There are some additional questions that are reasonable. I reacted to the news the same way probably most people did, where, it was an open secret. Well, first of all, it's not a secret then if it was open. Number two, if y'all knew about this, why was nothing done? There was some reporter over the weekend who said, in media circles, we've known about this for a long time. Why the hell didn't you do something? Say something.
I said the same thing. How has this been common knowledge among so many people, and this guy's allowed to continue to serve and even pursue different higher office?
Let's not give a pass, sorry, because it becomes political to a degree, with someone like his BFF, Ruben Gallego, who's a senator who just very quickly said, I've known this guy my entire life, but this is not who I know. And then
Any credibility at all with that statement?
I question if you are truly friends. And this is a guy who is when he ran for Swalwell ran for president, he was the campaign chair or something like. You didn't know anything.
I question
maybe you didn't, right? I totally, and maybe you're lying about how close you are, which is also likely. And I know he's on record saying, no, I never knew. Okay, I'm not sure I completely buy that.
Then you're the worst vetter of all time.
And again, it just seems like a weird brag, though, on the media side to say, this was an open secret forever. Then you didn't do your job.
Isn't it? Yeah. Right. It's a very strange thing
Why
to say.
give him cover?
100%.
It's just odd.
Happy they're all going away. I do think, we'll talk about this in a little bit. We should play this audio spike when we come back. But TMZ is opening up a bureau in D.C. How did they not already have this? Right. I'm surprised they didn't already have it.
That's where the fun is.
They're the worst.
They're the worst, but it's also going to, listen, they're going to get they're going to get content out of it. All right, Jason Rance, thanks for coming in, man. We appreciate it. We got a lot more coming up. Stick around. We'll be right back.
This hour is brought to you by Davis Law Group.
The John Curley Show.
If by the 15th of October rolls around and suddenly there's a bolt of lightning and I croak out right there, I'm fine.
Weekdays 3 to 7.
My dream of growing a giant pumpkin is just a couple of months away. I know somebody who knows somebody who knows a guy who knows a guy who knows someone who got me the seed, the 1,500-pounder, baby. It's in a secret location. I don't want to say where it is.
Watch The John Curley Show live on YouTube.
Hey, Jake Skorheim here. April showers bring May what? Oh, who am I kidding? We live in Western Washington. The only thing April showers bring are clogged and overflowing gutters, which can damage your home from your roof to your foundation. Fortunately, my friends at Valentine Roofing, they're ready to come to your rescue. Right now, you can bundle and save 10% off your entire job when you add new gutters to any new roofing project. Plus, Valentine offers gutter guards to help keep leaves and needles out for good, which gives you an additional layer of defense against clogged and overflowing gutters. Having Valentine out at my house, seeing their professionalism and attention to detail, it's no surprise that Valentine Roofing was awarded the 2025 Gold for Best Roofing Company and Silver for the Best Gutter Company by the Seattle Times Best in the Pacific Northwest Awards. Schedule your free roofing and gutter estimate today to bundle and save 10%. You can reach them by calling 206-ROOFING. That's 206-ROOFING. You deserve the best. And remember, when you see the red Valentine van, you know your home is in good hands.
The stock market was on fire in 2025 due to AI and tech stocks. Now is the time to set a strategy for 2026. It's a good opportunity to lock in those gains and invest into a stable platform. With $8 trillion in cash sitting on the sidelines, investors are either scared or unsure where to go. Hi, I'm Scott Rurecka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares the profits with our investors. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital. Invest into our Northwest Fund, which is currently delivering 9% on a fixed rate term. It's our flagship fund for 19 years with zero investor losses. And yes, we do accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Legacy Group Capital at LegacyG.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at LegacyG.com.
My name is Skip, and Congresswoman Marilyn Strickland helped me with my small business administration loan. With her help, I was able to keep my small business open, and she can help you too. Please contact Congresswoman Marilyn Strickland's office at 360-459-8514 or visit strickland.house.gov for help. Paid for by official funds authorized by the House of Representatives.
If you're looking to buy or sell a home in Washington, recent headlines might concern you. Talk of pocket listings or private networks where only certain consumers see certain properties are all over the media. Good news. The legislature recently passed a bill to protect you in your transaction. No secret deals, all listings available for everyone to see, not just an exclusive club of insiders. This means more competition, better offers, and fair access for all consumers. Learn more at warealtor.org, sponsored by Washington Realtors.
My son loves to fly kites, but my active psoriatic arthritis can sometimes hold me back. Now with Skyrizi to treat my skin and joints, I'm ready to go. Skyrizi, risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults, helps with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue. For those who also have plaque psoriasis, 90% clearer skin is possible with just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
With Skyrizi, there's nothing like clearer skin and better movement, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi today and visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZZI to learn more.
Hey there, Dawn Riling with Olympic Hot Tub. We're here to help you achieve total wellness at home. Right now, save up to $2,800 on a saltwater hot spring spa for fabulous healthy soaks. Or save up to $12,000 on an endless pool swim spa and turn your backyard into a year-round swim oasis. These massive savings end April 30th. OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
Olympic Hot Tub.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
John Curley here. You know a smart thing to do right now? Upgrade your cooling now with Home Comfort Alliance. Choose a Lennox cooling system and get a heating system free. Their 60-second online price estimator makes it so easy. Visit HomeComfortAlliance.com today.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and MyNorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Aaron Granello. The City Council in Tukwila may be moving toward a permanent ban on ICE facilities. A temporary ban passed in February expires this August. Residents packed a council meeting yesterday, many of them urging leaders to make that ban permanent.
What do you want your legacy to be? Will you be the city council that exacerbates and perpetuates ICE's presence in Tukwila, or the city council that was willing to mitigate it but not eliminate it?
Now, the current ban blocks new permits and rezoning tied to ICE detention centers. It does not stop ICE from leasing private property. Another public hearing is set for later this month. Costco is pushing back against claims that its $5 rotisserie chicken poses a salmonella risk. Attorneys for the Issaquah-based retailer asked a federal judge in Seattle to dismiss a proposed class action lawsuit. Seattle Times reports the plaintiff in Missouri claims contamination at Costco's poultry supplier in Nebraska created a food safety crisis. Costco says its rotisserie chicken is fully cooked, which kills the bacteria. The judge has not yet ruled. Quantum computing in Bothell is expanding. The governor's office is spending $500,000 to help support it. KIRO Radio's John Repp has that story.
The governor's office says this expansion means about 100 engineering jobs within the next year and a half, along with up to 2,000 jobs over the next 5 years. Economic Alliance Snohomish County President Ray Stephenson says it's a financial win for the region.
We've had trade challenges, funding challenges at a federal level.
The money comes from the governor's Economic Development Strategic Reserve Fund, matched by more than $14 million in private investment. John Repp, KIRO News Radio.
Well, it may be spring, but a winter storm warning is in effect for the mountains through tomorrow night. National Weather Service says it'll drop up to 1.5 feet of snow in the Cascades. For lower elevations, KIRO 7 TV meteorologist Nick Allard says it'll be wet and windy.
We do have some wind advisories now, including out to the coast and across, say, like parts of North King County, Snohomish County, Skagit, and Island County. This is until, 6, 7 o'clock, and we'll see gusts anywhere from 40 to 45.
For now, let's go to the real-time traffic center at 2:33. Check in with Nate Connors.
Hey, Aaron, thanks. In Renton, northbound 167 and 180th, our earlier collision has been cleared to both shoulders, so we've got cars on both shoulders, but no longer a blocking issue. Just be aware as you make your way through this area. Ironically, it's southbound 167 that's more congested through the scene, and then more scattered backups ahead of you between Kent and Sumner. All added up, Renton to Puyallup will take you 35 minutes. North 5 through Seattle, scattered backups now closer to the Michigan curve to the Ship Canal Bridge. Half hour to get through downtown, but once you punch through this, you're in the clear all the way up to that Linwood interchange. South 5 heavy from the Ship Canal Bridge to I-90. South 405, we're filling in between South Bellevue and the Renton Landing. Plan on 25 minutes to get through this. North 405 is crowded from South Center past the Renton Landing. About 20 to 25 minutes as well from South Center to Bellevue. This report brought to you by Day and Night Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric. And this month, when you install a new AC or heat pump, you'll get a free furnace from Day and Night Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric. Scheduled today at dayandnight.net. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
It's going to stay rainy and breezy this afternoon. Some scattered showers tomorrow, then drying out as the week goes on. Right now, 49 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
All right, welcome back to the show. We got a lot of stuff we got to get to. So much to do, so little time. So let's jump right into it. Before we get to Bob Ferguson, governor of our state for the time being, he said recently, he was talking about just making everything so affordable in Washington State. We're going to play that clip and respond to it, have kind of a live react with you guys. We can talk about what makes things unaffordable in our state. We can, maybe we'll disagree, maybe we'll agree. I don't know. We'll talk about that in just a second. But before we get to that, TMZ, we mentioned this right before the break, TMZ, was this just providential timing for them, or what happened that they were able to set up a D.C. bureau right when all of this stuff is happening? All the Swalwell stuff is happening, the Gonzalez stuff, the resignations are happening, people are walking away because of all this scandal and intrigue, and then they announce at the same time, hey, guess what? We also have a D.C. bureau we've just set up. Is that just lucky timing for them?
Oh, I think it's reading the
tea leaves?
Yeah, well, plus the fact that politics have become so much more circus-like.
You're,
social media driven.
Unfortunately, politics is entertainment now.
It totally
didn't used
is.
to be, but it's entertainment now.
When we saw the story, we're both like, it took them this long. Was there not enough empty office space in D.C. that you guys couldn't find a bureau?
100%.
A room at the Ramada is a bureau.
Yes.
You just need someplace to hang a shingle and say, we got our D.C. bureau. Everything about D.C. these days is camera-friendly. It's soundbite-driven.
Yes, it's a swamp. Everybody. I mean, when you think about what gets somebody into office now, a lot of times it's because they're huge social media presence.
Exactly right.
So why wouldn't they also be like very intriguing for these TMZ cameras who are obviously aiming at a younger audience? And this makes total sense to me. And DC is a swamp, and you need people that are kind of swampy to go in.
They speak swamp. They speak lowball.
They speak the language.
They do. And so I have a bigger question though, because we're talking about this is a symptom of the disease. TMZ is not the problem. TMZ
they wouldn't
is
be there if there wasn't
they're
something to
they're the
cover.
fly on the carcass.
Let me ask you a
right?
question. One second. Let me play you this clip from TMZ,
Sure.
and then you can. And then I want to hear your question.
I actually realized I want to be a senator because it's the cushiest job ever. It's like no one goes to work. Like they just have this massive 2-week vacation, and now they're coming in tonight to vote. Like they didn't work all day today. And what I'm hearing is like people usually land, they get in their car, they get taken straight here, they vote, and then they go home and sleep. So it's like greatest job ever. You don't have to do anything. Right.
This is one of the TMZ's new reporters in D.C. They're doing a check-in, like, hey, you're on the ground now. How do you think it's going? What's your assessment on the ground in D.C. in the Beltway for the first couple of days? And he's like,
don't do nothing.
Here's the thing. They're not completely wrong.
No, you're right. You're right.
Very cushy job. And they usually...
It's not supposed to be. It shouldn't be.
You usually walk in pretty humble in means... And sometimes people get elected who are already have great successes in the private sector.
Sure, yeah, that's true.
But
they all get rich in office.
Oftentimes, they leave office with unbelievable portfolios.
So what a great dilemma this is.
Yes.
What's your
question?
My question was going to be, TMZ's rooted into D.C. with a bureau because that's what the politics turned into, right?
Yeah.
That's got to be viewed as detrimental for governing, for the citizenry.
Disagree.
I'm not talking about TMZ. I'm talking about what public service has become. The clickbait, the money chase, the social media status, the celebrity status. You can't have any kind of hearing from any kind of committee of any substance because they're all chasing sound bites.
Well,
they're all chasing their social media posts.
That's
right?
true. A lot of it is soundbite. A lot of it is clickbait stuff.
And I think it's
TMZ,
hard for them to work in service of the people. If they're working in service of their donors, of their social media audience, if they got a podcast.
It's interesting because when I was working for the Sonics, when I was in the NBA for 4 years, no big deal, as a ball boy, you could see the players who were in a contract year, you could see them step up their game and start to play harder and score more points or be whatever they were hired to do. They would do more of it when they thought their job was on the line.
Yeah, sure.
And I'm wondering if you see the same thing. If you were to look at senators or
reps,
whoever the reps are from Washington State. If you were to look at these people, and you were to find out when are they the loudest and when are they trying to catch these sound bites, I bet you it's right before they are facing a re-election campaign. I mean, they're trying to get eyeballs on them. I mean,
But I would you're probably right, but I would say they're always in re-election mode.
Or
from the day they start, they're trying to raise money.
You're probably right. If they have higher, so somebody starts out as
backbencher,
a Susan Del Bene, for instance, who was talking about gas prices. We tried to get her on the show, but it didn't happen.
We're going to get her later in the week. She's got a busy schedule. She got a dinner and a.
Are we going to get her?
Film her podcast
She coming on?
or something. So her office said, "Look, the rep's busy today."
Did you reach out?
Yeah.
She said she'll come on?
Mike said, well, can we look for a date? They told Mike, can we look for a time later this week?
Yeah, she's flying cross-country today.
Oh, fantastic.
And they said possibly later this week.
Oh,
so
great.
I gave her some times, and TBD.
Awesome. Okay, yeah, because she was standing in front of a gas sign talking about how much the Iran war is raising gas prices. And I'm very interested in talking about gas prices in Washington State. Okay, so somebody starts out in a job like hers, but they might think, hey, you know what? I want to be a senator from that state. And so they might start ramping up their public profile.
You got to ramp, sure you do, yeah.
And then somebody gets a crazy idea. They go, you know what? I might want to be the governor of that state, or I might want to be the president of the United States. And then, as we've seen, all hell can break loose, and you can just go crazy. And oftentimes that's rewarded.
You know who Nancy Mace is, right?
I do know who Nancy Mace is.
She's pursuing the governorship of, I think it's South Carolina is her state, but she's a social media savant.
You have to be these days.
That's it. But it's more important
Donnie,
to her.
He got elected in New York
being
because
a social media savvy kind of guy. But
because he's dancing on the subway.
So is it
AOC? AOC was dancing on TikTok or whatever it was, and she got elected.
So is it unfair of us to expect people of this era to seek public office and sway public opinion in an antiquated format by getting stuff done, by bringing benefit to your state?
I appreciate when people govern quietly and they do a good job at it. I like that. I'm not saying that that's a bad thing at all. I mean, I think that's fantastic.
Is it a realistic expectation anymore? Given the evolution or de-evolution of how politics works, what matters to people, how you get people's attention.
The truth is that
Because the gotchas are more valuable than the getting it done.
Here's the thing: DC has always been a swamp. Like when you watch, like one of my most favorite movies in the world is Mr. Smith Goes to Washington.
Absolutely.
And that film was filmed in when? Was that the 1930s?
39.
Did you look that up?
39. I guess.
Okay,
so
when Jefferson Smith, the junior senator from Pennsylvania, where's he come from? I don't forget where he's come from. Doesn't matter.
He's a scoutmaster.
When he arrives in D.C.,
I don't think it's Midwest.
He is absolutely inundated by the press who are trying to get scandal, and they see him doing bird calls and all these different things. That's the name of the game. I mean, that's what it already is. Actually, if it's anything, it's a commentary on how bad the media has become. The TMZ is now on the same level as traditional media. I don't think it says anything really different about what we're getting from our elected officials. I think the people covering our elected officials have dropped the ball for a long time, and it's opened up a void, and TMZ is stepping in to fill that void.
So is TMZ the right sheriff for right now? They know how to follow sleazy people around? They know how to wait outside of restaurants and what it takes?
Anybody who does their job as a journalist.
If Clarence Thomas pumps out of an RV that he didn't earn, and there's a TMZ reporter there to bust him, I'm all for it.
Listen, you find Bill Clinton in a hot tub next to somebody and you get a picture of it, I want to see it. I just don't want to see below the surface. All right, we got a lot more coming up. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Charlie Harder.
And I'm Amanda Factor.
Is there a chance of a deal this week?
We will have the latest on the war with Iran.
Another legal loss for President Trump.
Former Attorney General Rob McKenna has thoughts on a judge tossing the suit against the Wall Street Journal.
And some potential for some active weather tomorrow. We'll have your forecast and Sully with traffic every 10 minutes on the 3s.
Join us tomorrow 5 to 9 on Seattle's Morning News.
We're on YouTube, our app, your smart speaker, and 97.3 FM.
You know, the decision on whether it's time to put a loved one or a parent into a situation of assisted living, it can feel overwhelming. It can be the most important decision you have to make. It doesn't have to be, though. Here's what I wish someone had told me sooner. Aegis Living, aegisliving.com/spike. Go there today and book an appointment. We're talking about chef-prepared meals, a community feeling that's like no other, luxury amenities, resort-like amenities. They care about people. They care about your family. Go to agesliving.com/spike. Book an appointment. You get a special take-home gift. There's no obligation. It's free, of course. There's no pressure. And trust me, you'll be saying to whoever you're with, this must be the place, because it is. agesliving.com/spike.
Take me out to big trees. Take me to see the leaves. Privacy screens and evergreens. You already know they have thousands of trees.
Big Trees for tree sales and transplants. Find Big Trees in Snohomish or BigTreeSupply.com.
Mark is 76 and his shoulder pain was getting in the way of him playing baseball. You heard that right. Baseball.
Yeah, there's a whole league here of old guys pretending like we're kids.
The pain from severe arthritis just wasn't going away.
It was like a nerve type pain, and I couldn't sleep at night.
That's when Mark decided to see Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine for stem cell therapy.
Well, if I can avoid surgery anytime, you'd probably be better off.
Mark is back out on the diamond playing baseball.
So I moved into this retirement community, and I talked about my shoulder, and these old people here, they got all excited about it, and 2 of them now have gone to see Mark Wagner. They don't like driving into Seattle, so I drive them in.
He more than recommends Dr. Wagner. He chauffeurs. So whether it's a hip like mine or a shoulder, elbow, ankle, wrist, or knee, before choosing surgery, see Dr. Mark Wagner first. He's the most experienced in the Northwest with over 20,000 stem cell procedures. Go to drmarkwagnermd.com.
This might be the most surprising statistic I've shared in decades of doing local news. More than 75% of commuters will be involved in a car accident at some point. JP Pendergast of Pendergast Law with more.
What makes it more surprising? The average person will be involved in 3 to 4 collisions in their lifetime.
With accidents unbelievably prevalent, what are some safety tips if it happens to you?
Safety first. Secondary collisions are not uncommon while awaiting help. Turn on those hazards and remain in a safe place. If a bystander witnessed the accident, capture their information and encourage them to remain at the scene. Seek medical attention immediately if needed, as delaying can be a costly mistake. Lastly, remember that statements made to police and insurance adjusters can affect your case.
Collisions are more common than we'd like to think. If you find yourself in one, follow these helpful tips and then call my friends at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one's injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. we can help.
PendergastLaw.com.
The team that gave me back my full head of hair, Advanced Hair, is once again the winner of the 425 Business of the Year. Dr. Perungo and his world-class team begin regrowing your own natural hair the very next day. And Advanced Hair guarantees your new hair will grow, just like they did for me. Find out why Advanced Hair is the best of the best. With your free consultation, you'll receive $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
So, how's your research going?
Surprising. After I figured out the top-rated TVs in our price range, I went shopping for deals.
And who's the best?
It wasn't the internet, and it wasn't the warehouse club.
But?
It was video only. They had better deals on the Samsung, LG, and the Sony TVs that got the highest scores.
Better than online and at the club?
I know! Video only beat them all. And now we can afford an even better model for the same price. My research really paid off.
If we buy it video only.
Exactly. Otherwise, we'll be sorry.
At Video Only, you won't find huge stores with refrigerators or microwaves, but you will find the best deals on top-rated TVs, soundbars, and monitors. Shop around. Just make sure you visit Video Only, because if you don't,
you'll be sorry.
In South Center, Bellevue, Linwood, Federal Way, and Tacoma, Video Only.
File now with TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. They'll find every credit and deduction or your money back. File today the easy way in the Credit Karma app.
Clutter happens. Let Closets by Design save the day. For a limited time, get 40% off plus 15% more and 18 months 0% financing on approved credit if paid in full. Go to closetsbydesign.com or call 1-800-BY-DESIGN.
Washington's lottery gives out a lot of green to winners in schools and retailers awesomely. Nearly 600 mil to people that play. Another 180 mil to vocational training and education from preschool to college. Now you got the knowledge, a win-win for all of us. Play Washington Lottery, lottery, lottery. Play Washington Lottery, lottery, lottery.
Visit walllottery.com. Who benefits to learn more.
All right, welcome back to the show. Lots of text messages today. Thank you guys so much. By the way, we really do have a great time reading these. We try to respond to as many as we can. We definitely try to read as many as we can towards the end of the show. So all day, every day, you guys can send those to us. Muckleshoot Casino Resort text line, 888-973-5476. And your participation with the show is the only reason that we're able to do this. So thank you guys so much. All right, let's get to them. Mike, start us off.
All right, so let's start with the looming threat of El Nino.
El Nino.
And the weather. This one from the 360, and I nominate this for Text of the Day already. The European weather models are far superior to all the other models.
It's pretty funny.
There's a double meaning
I'm
there.
just letting that sit there. I'm not going to touch that one.
Those weather models are hotter.
Hotter, yeah, they are. Oof. Just stop. Doug in Mount Vernon says the medium-range weather model is just a psychic giving the weather forecast. Yeah, the short-range is the guy looking out a window. Medium-range is a psychic.
What's the weather? Yeah, that's funny. Brian in Lakewood says the last 2 years they said we were going to have an extreme wildfire season. It was minimal.
Doug in Mount Vernon says, drove the Chevy off the levee. Will the flood district cover the load?
Good question, Doug.
Well put. On Katie Wilson using CCTV cameras for the World Cup.
Not using,
excuse me. Jesus says customs and ICE are different things, and ICE has detained many people because they look illegal.
James in Edgewood says, yes, Jake, you show your papers to get in the country, but I'm sure people don't want to be harassed about their papers when they're trying to enjoy themselves. I understand, James. I just think that it feels to me, I might be wrong, this is my opinion, it feels to me like it's a little bit of fear-mongering. I don't think it would be quite as intrusive as they're suggesting. And the trade-off is they won't have cameras on in this major event, and if there's anything that happens and you need to catch bad guys, that will not be available unless they have, a heads up that something's going to happen ahead of time. But whatever, we can have different opinions on this.
From the 307, everybody says no ice until the very first terrorist attack, and then the very first question will be, where was ice?
Interesting.
Cliff in Woodinville says, what are they doing with cameras in other host cities? are they predicting a similar loss of attendance?
That's a good question.
I think that, the 10% drop in attendance is a nationwide forecast. And again, FIFA today asked the administration to suspend ice activities outside of World Cup games.
So they don't have to stop using the cameras, right?
That wouldn't have to stop using the cameras, right? If there was no ice activities, cameras up and running.
On Mamdani's grocery stores, B and Puyallup says there are government-run grocery stores on military bases. Obviously, totally different situation, but thank you for the text message.
This was by far the most polarizing topic. I got the most texts on this topic today. Chris in the 206 writes, regarding New York groceries, he's going to lose, meaning Mamdani, he's going to lose his profit and workers being paid prevailing wage for a New York employee.
Interesting. Who is also, by the way, did you know that New York City is the largest employer in New York?
Makes sense.
They have 100,000 employees. 100,000 employees.
It's just open a grocery store for them. Take them out of the marketplace, right? That'll work. Todd Burian says, if the city is giving people SNAP and these people shop at the city store, the city's making their money back in a vicious circle. Yeah.
Stephanie in Bothell, when Washington State has an only state-run liquor stores, booze was cheaper than after they let the grocery stores take it over, according to Stephanie.
I remember. She's right.
Yeah. Mandy in Bothell, no relation to Stephanie. I would only support the government grocery stores in food deserts.
Let's move on. We have short time, so let's move on to something else. We have a lot of these. There's a lot of grocery store ones. Let's move on to them. Go for it, Spike.
On Canada's healthcare system, Don and Lacey says, there are some horrible stories of American healthcare as well. Let's not pretend there's not.
Of course, obviously, Donna, but if you were to get sick in any country and you needed the very, very, very best care, not for just a broken leg, but for like really, really serious care, ask yourself where you would rather get that care, America or anywhere else. Fernando in Seattle says, just curious, who paid for her treatments? Is he talking about the Canadian lady who came here, or is he talking about the Canadian lady who lost her leg?
I think he's talking about the Canadian lady who came here. I'm assuming.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
Who
a great
was
question.
an American citizen?
I would posit that they probably bore a large chunk of that cost. Yeah,
I hope so.
All right, one last one here. On Justin Bieber, afflicted with Bieber fever, B and Puyallup, Justin sold the rights to some of his music, so he can't perform them, but he can lip sync to videos of some songs.
What?
Okay, so this is about
what? Is that real?
Bieber was at Coachella.
Yeah.
I do believe he did sell his catalog. Yeah.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Bieber was at Coachella. Jared Goff, who's the quarterback for the Detroit Lions, he took his wife, who's apparently a big Bieber fan, which makes sense. I mean, all the ages line up. And then he paid like $60,000 or something for special VIP tickets. He gets there, and Bieber's just scrolling through old YouTube videos.
He's standing on stage lip syncing.
On stage, according to Goff.
Right.
I haven't seen the concert. I don't know if there was anything extra. That would be really frustrating if you're paying all this money, even if you're paying not $60,000, even if you're paying $200.
Yeah, you're paying $60,000, whatever, to go see Coachella for a host of different performers on stage. It's like you paid $68,000 just to see Bieber.
Yeah.
Well,
right?
why doesn't Justin just go the Taylor's version route then? You know, I mean, like if he sold the rights to everything,
he records it. Interesting. All right. Finally, on Eric Swalwell, 907 says Swalwell is trying to cover his tracks by admitting adultery. He's trying to say the sex was consensual.
Yes, he is. You're right.
It will be interesting to see how this whole thing plays out, and we'll keep watching it for you. John Curley's coming up next. We will see you back here tomorrow. See you then. Bye-bye.
The John Curley Show.
If by like the 15th of October rolls around and suddenly there's a bolt of lightning and I croak out right there, I'm fine.
Weekdays 3 to 7.
My dream of growing a giant pumpkin is just a couple of months away. I know somebody who knows somebody who knows a guy who knows a guy who knows someone who got me the seed, the 1,500-pounder, baby. It's in a secret location. I don't want to say where it is.
Watch The John Curley Show live on YouTube.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
John always listens to his truck. So when his brakes start talking, he goes to AutoZone, where a helpful AutoZoner gets him the right parts. If John has time to put them in, he borrows a kit with Loan-A-Tool. And if he doesn't, he gets a free shop referral. No hassles, just help. Everything you need, nothing you don't.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Deposit required for Loan-A-Tool. Restrictions apply.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime.
Our entry-level data plans start at just $20 a month. And for a limited time, switch and get your second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you and get your second month free today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional details.
DUI? Felony charge? Trust Bradley Johnson Lawyers and 1-800-DUI-OA. Over 30 years serving the Pacific Northwest and hundreds of 5-star reviews. Every mistake has a solution at 1-800-DUI-OA.
1-800-DUI-OA!
There are 6 markets you can place your money in. Research suggests it's better to have exposure to all 6 markets. Don't miss a potential opportunity because you didn't strategically diversify your assets. Hi, Jeff here with Madrona Financial and CPAs. Request your no-cost Madrona analysis today and discover what you may be missing in your portfolio. Call 833-673-7373 right now to request your analysis. That's 833-673-7373.
Owie, wowie!
What's with the
water heater's worn out?
Way less hot water?
Takes a lot longer, too.
Sounds like a goner.
Worst of all,
what?
Wasn't planning on it.
We can help.
Apollo Plumbing.
Ready right now to get you
in hot water.
Same day.
Not this day. My budget.
How about with easy payments?
How much easy?
Around $50 a month with approved credit.
A new water heater?
50 gallons of 100% hot water delight.
For about $50 a month.
51, 52 to be precise.
And you can do it
today, if that's what you need.
Is it ever?
Apollo installs new ones with code upgrades.
Can't beat that.
Actually, I can.
What?
Your same-day water heater replacement includes Wrenchie's worry-free warranty.
Which means?
Apollo Plumbing covers your new water heater for life.
You mean should it ever wear out?
Apollo Plumbing replaces it free.
And if it needs service?
Service is included for our A-list members.
Wow!
Your new water heater is ready
right now
at apolloplumbing.com.
Hey, how's your money situation? Are you ready for retirement? Well, if you want to know what the pros are doing to make wealth multiply and retire like royalty, then you need to listen to this show, Sound Path Through Retirement, with Ben Koval and Matt Leibarger. Get your money right and tune in every weekend, Saturdays at 10 a.m. and noon on KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM.
Insulation rebates from PSC are at historic highs. American Crawl Space and Pest Services gave over $3 million in PSC insulation rebates last year, more than any contractor in Washington. Homeowners, business owners, and PSC trust American Crawl Space and Pest Services. Was your home built before 1990? Visit AmericanCrawl.com to see how much you can